as we initiate chaos. Theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots, sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only waits us. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. It's in a beautiful darkness. Only another. It's full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. All above the Betty Express. Misdirected from the start. It's a runaway train. I come a freight train. I come a freight train. In a beautiful darkness, the Betty Express. In a beautiful darkness.
Hey, you guys, I hope you are ready to speed through. It looks like there's a lot of breaks or things that aren't shown to the general public. Hope you guys are having a great day. Just to kind of orient you, we're still on the very first witness for the state in this hearing. He was a former police officer or slash security guard. I'm not quite sure the distinction, so I don't want to mislabel him. But he's generally just given us a layout of how the buildings were oriented and the, roads around the area of the, university were kind of oriented. Now he's getting into the moments just after the incident and finding not only who they believed initially was the suspect, a holster, him kind of identifying that the shot he heard sounded more like it was coming from a long style force multiplier rather than that. So that's kind of where we are. The defense has been maddening as per usual. And speaking of home ownership, I might have to go silent or mute my mic because Mr. Mo is working on demolition, so we don't have to pay for tear out for certain of the cabinets. So, well, I figure communism and socialism isn't fad, but this kind of always makes me think of Newsies. So I guess it's whatever you associate it with. I think of Kristen Bayo singing and dancing, which is funny considering the Batman later part of his career. But I go Newsies with this hat. Other people see communism. It's interesting where you kind of put this. But that's kind of where we are. We are at 1.5 speed, so I do have the closed captions on. I have not yet gotten to a bingo. I still need to do my D&D homework. So the life of the oldest child prodigy and advanced procrastinator, Mo. Let's see. We got new appliances last week. Now we're having to replace this receptacle above the microwave and a breaker. How fun. Yeah, we need to do that next. I don't even want to think about that.
And when you say that area, what areas are you talking about?
I'm talking about the roof where it was the southwest side of the roof where I found the disturbed gravel, where it looked like somebody had been pruned out in the line of sight of the tent. Somewhere there.
Did you secure the area as far as any of the entrance area up onto the rooftop with police tape?
Yeah, so then where that natural guardrail is, that was the other barrier where they were advised not to go any further from there other than police officers.
Okay. If we could go back to State's Exhibit number 2. If we were to zoom in on this photograph, are you able to see the police tape that you put up on the rooftop of the Losi Center? Officer?
Yes, you would be able to.
Kimberly, if we can zoom in. Officer, I'm going to have you.
Okay, now this is going to bother me all day if I don't point it out. So let me see if I've got the draw on page. All right, move this guy. Come on, can I move you? All right. What in the actual Schnell is going on with this man's posture? I mean, what is this? Daggone it, that's not the color, and I also don't want stroke, but giggity. Line. There we go. We'll just use green. What is this posture? I understand it's like he is, I mean, what in the name of contortionology? Also, unfortunate bald spot. Get used to your prison husbands noticing that you don't have a full head of hair, allegedly in Minecraft. I apologize. It's a little too early in the morning to make prison marriage jokes, but um, it, we're going to be getting storm fronts. So, Newsies, JKD Buck, before Disney went absolutely insane, they created some of the most insane Quaalude driven movies you have ever seen, to include Heavyweights, Operation Dumbo Drop, Cool Runnings, and then, oh God, where was I going with this? Newsies, the musical about the newspaper boy strike, I think in New York, allegedly. Look, it's been many years since I watched Christian Bale dance around doing jazz hands while singing. But such videographic evidence does exist. There was a movie called Newsies. It was a musical, and it was about paper boys, I believe. There are times where I look back at my life and I'm like, did this really happen, or did I get a bad gummy? And a lot of that has to do with the movies of my childhood. I love it, JKD Buck. Let me share. Oh, I hate it when I have my sound on so I can hear me, my little evil giggle. Look, I know I do it. I don't need to be reminded. Here we go. I love it. I definitely love it. Sounds like, look, it made me want to join a musical. I'm not going to lie. But then older and more logical me. See, here's the problem. I am the amazingly astonishing paradoxical mix of Vulcan and theater kid. Believe me, I don't even understand me. Part of me wants to Liberace and Golda Meir everything, and part of me is like, that's not logical. Damn it. It makes no logical sense. And the other part of me is like, what if we made everyone Muppets? Look, I can't even explain it. God bless Mr. Mo for sticking with me. I don't know. Speaking of puppets, we have Marty, the moron sandwich. Look, I'm making this work. I have a puppet. Mr. Mo said I would never use it, so now I have to use it. So it's Marty the moron, idiot sandwich, Esquire. He'll usually talk when the defense come up. But there you go. Welcome to ADHD, weaponized and on YouTube.
You come down and describe for the court where you put that police tape up to secure that scene, the rooftop area. On the southwest corner of the rooftop.
Ooh. Oh, he didn't take his mic. Mic free karaoke.
So this is the top of the Losi building. You got your two different grays. The southwest is towards the top, center of the picture. You can see some yellow tape that spans from over here on the far right side of the picture by these black pipes, goes around a silver vent, comes back down around to the corner of that silver to keep everybody out of that area where that prone position was at.
Okay. On that photograph, are you able to see where you put the tape up as far as the access way to that roof near the stairway?
So it was right here, actually, this natural barrier.
Okay, this is going to sound really bad. And look, I know I'm very tangential to the Karen Reed group, but there is this beautiful woman, and I mean, like, so beautiful you don't think she's real life. And I mean this as a compliment, but I think her name is Essie or Etsy. Look, I'm very sorry. I suck at names. But she looks exactly like Kira from The Dark Crystal. And I always wanted to grow up to be Kira with the wings. I just didn't realize Gelfling wasn't a job option. Damn it. Look, I will remedy that at one point. But she is so beautiful, and she reminded me. So I wanted to say she looks exactly like a Gelfling, but I realized that people might not understand the compliment unless I qualify it. So, but that was my first compliment, and this is why I don't people much.
Where you have to climb over the guardrail. So this is the other barrier that I have to set up.
And you put police tape on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you eventually leave that area?
I did.
Do you recall about what time you left that area?
Oh, I have it in my notes. It would be when I left that area, it was almost 1 o'clock, about 1:03, 1:01.
Okay. Before leaving, did you leave the scene with anyone?
I did not leave the scene. Or did I leave the scene to somebody? Yes.
Just to someone else?
Yes.
And who was that?
It was a county deputy, a female.
Did you provide instructions to her?
I did.
And what were those instructions?
I advised her not to let anybody inside the crime scene.
Okay.
without being a police officer or an investigator.
Okay. Thank you. You can take your seat again. Officer, upon seeing this disturbance in the gravel, you described what it looked like to you.
Yes.
Someone lying down in a prone position, correct?
Yes.
What did you do next?
So when I got to the top of the Losi building during that day, I noticed a screwdriver, kept going to the edge, found that prone position. At that moment, I realized because it was the direct line of sight, plus the disturbance in the gravel, where I could see somebody lay down in a prone position or a sniper position, and asked dispatch to get on the then I realized that we probably didn't have our shooter in custody from that moment. I asked dispatch to get on the camera system and to see if anybody was on top of the Losi building during the time of the incident.
Were you advised of anything?
I was. Dispatch came back and advised me that there was a male individual on top of the roof that was there at the time of the shooting.
Did they describe what his movements were?
They did. They stated that he ran to the edge, dropped down, crawled, got in a prone position.
I'm going to stop you right there. You ran to the edge. What direction and what edge?
Running west and southwest of the Losi building, so ran towards the tent where Charlie Kirk was, so they could get a line of sight. And then the individual stood up after the shooting and ran northeast on top of the Losi building.
Okay.
And just pausing since I pulled up Anima Rampure, I am on Rumble and YouTube, and kindly, whenever you get a chance, if you enjoy this content, if you're over on X, whenever you get a chance, come over to YouTube, give it a like and subscribe, you know, to justify my semi-profitable tax write-off to my husband so that he can continue to, you know, allow me to do this and not sling LuLaRoe on the streets. Look, I am not up for that level of peopling. Welcome to the Petty Express. We're going to continue to keep going quickly. If I have to mute, it's because said husband is earning mega brownie points doing teardown in our kitchen, so we don't have to pay for it, which means loudness will abound. But hopefully no more ceiling cats. Now, the ceiling cat story from this morning will be out, I believe, today at 4 or 5. So if you need a hilarious story, that will be a video of its own. So I'm trying to get better at that.
You mentioned that this individual on the video dropped off the edge. Did you get that?
I mentioned that.
Oh, what happened? What else was described to you?
Then, well, at that moment, so I knew that there was possibly a shooter on the run.
Your Honor, can we just have a continuing objection to all of the hearsay that's being testified to here?
And Judge, my response to that was I'm not actually offering this for the truth of the matter asserted at this point, simply for the effect on the hearer. So I'm not offering what's been described in the video as substantive evidence.
Ms. Nestor, with that clarification, any thoughts?
I'll just stand on the objection. I don't think, I mean, he's clearly offering it for the truth because he's asking him to describe the route of the individual, and it's based on what other people told him. So if he wants to circle back to it after he's put the video in, I mean, we could do that. But right now, I still think it's inappropriate hearsay, Your Honor.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Hernandez?
I'll submit it to the court.
All right. So as the magistrate, as this is not to a jury, it's to myself as a magistrate, I am not accepting that statement for the truth of the matter asserted, simply for what has been stated. So I'm specifically making that finding as I'm receiving this evidence, and I'm not accepting it for the truth of the matter asserted, only as represented by Mr. Grunander. And with that, the objection is overruled. Mr. Grunander, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. So you mentioned you were provided with information that an individual was running north on the Losi rooftop, correct?
Yes.
What else was described to you?
At that moment, I knew I had responding units coming into the scene. I advised other officers that I needed the Losi building secured, searched, because I didn't know exactly what way, other than he ran north. At that moment, I went down to the police department, which is just down the stairwell, and looked at the video myself. And
Where is the police department located?
it's in the Gunther Trade Building, just directly to the south of the Losi building.
Okay.
So where I described those outside stairs, the building to the left of that or south would be the Gunther Trade Building.
Okay. On what level is the police department?
It's level 3.
Level 3. Okay. Upon arriving at the police department, what did you do next, man?
I then looked at the footage to verify for myself exactly what expired on that moment, where I could see an individual run to the edge, get up, and then run off, and then drop off the northeast side of the building, of the Losi building.
Okay. Having viewed that, what did you do next?
At that moment, I realized I had more crimes, a bigger crime scene that I needed to contain and preserve for evidence. At that moment, I went and grabbed some more crime scene tape, and I responded to the northeast side of the building and secured an area where I saw impressions of the shoe print inside the grass, and also up above on that northeast side of the building, I could see on the cement where someone had scuffed there and then dropped down to the shoe imprint and then finished going northeast.
Okay. I can take the witness back to State's Exhibit 2. You mentioned seeing an individual drop down. Could you come down and point that area out to the court?
Yes. Okay, this is the Losi building again on the top right center of the photo. Southwest side is where the individual was laying down prone in the line of sight, came behind the aquarium or atrium, came behind that on the west side of it, came up to the north side of the Losi building on the east on this white square piece on the far right of the picture. And then he dropped off on the east side of the Losi building into the grass down here below.
So the northeast corner.
Yes, northeast corner.
You mentioned you observed something on the grass,
I did. I saw a shoe imprint that was embedded pretty deep right there next to where he dropped off.
and this is all footage that you personally observed on the
Yes.
surveillance video.
Yes.
Okay. When you got to the scene, describe in as best detail as you can what you saw on the grass then.
So when I got to the scene, I could see that there was a shoe imprint there. When I looked up onto the
Sorry, I know I'm trying to learn from the best in journalism Inc. Because she is a cash cow, not a low cow. Just learned that this morning. Speed research for something something. Anyhoozle, sorry I wasn't gonna dox myself for content, as I'm reliably told that is. Allegedly in Minecraft. Sorry. Alleged plausible deniability, but apparently, as your hot mess priestess, I like to point out that I am totally fallibly human like the rest of you, so I forgot a doctor's appointment and they were calling to remind me. Now, personally, I would have forgotten about it until my medicine ran out, and then I would have not refilled my medicine until I could no longer avoid it. So it's probably good that they called. Because, like I said, I tell you guys good advice. I don't do good advice. That's why I'm the cult leader, allegedly in Minecraft.
cement from the roof. I could see some scratching or rub marks from the top of the roof that was not there. So I could see that looked abnormal. I then decided to put crime scene tape around the whole area in case there was more evidence that needed to be preserved.
On that exhibit number 2, do you see where you placed the crime scene tape?
Yes, I do.
And where is that? Can you describe that to the court?
It's going to be on the far right in the center of the picture. You can see the yellow tape. I came around trees, came up further out of pictures, some more trees. I came down all the way down to the back side of the LDS Institute building where there's a sidewalk to block everybody out of coming up that way.
Okay. Did you at one point leave the scene?
I did.
Did you release the scene to anyone?
Yes, I did.
And who was that?
There was 2 Payson police officers that were sitting there.
Okay. Were they in uniform?
They were.
Did you provide them with any instructions?
I advised them not to let anybody inside the crime scene other than law enforcement or investigators.
Okay. You can take your seat again, Officer Bagley. You've talked about the disturbance in the gravel that was observed on the Losi building.
Yes.
Did you walk through that disturbance in the gravel?
I did not.
Did you otherwise touch it in any way?
No.
With respect to the shoe print that you observed on the grass on the northeast lawn area below the Losi building, did you walk through that?
I did not.
Did you otherwise disturb that?
No.
Did
Officer Bagley,
poke
what
it
did you
with
do
a
next?
stick?
From that moment, I then released the scene. I went down to the Fugo building and knew that where the incident command center was at, so I could relay information that I'd found to responding units and people in charge.
I can just a moment, Judge.
You may.
Say, we'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right.
Oh,
Ms. Nestor?
Lord, heaven preserve me.
Ms.
Tiny baby Jesus, you have called upon me to be a nicer person. But your child Nestor, she irks me. I will attempt to do my best. But should I be provoked, it was entrapment, allegedly in Minecraft, plausible deniability in Minecraft.
Nestor, before you begin, what time would you like to break for lunch? I don't want to interrupt a line of questioning, and so I just want to make sure that we're just taking a look at the clock and when you feel is a good time to break, roughly in that 12:10 range.
I will aim for that, Your Honor. That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, thank you. You may proceed.
May it please the court. Good afternoon, or morning still. Officer Bagley, my name is...
Now, I will say this because I am an observer of people. It looks like Miss Nestor has lost a good bit of weight, and to that I say congratulations. I hope she's feeling better about herself. And it seems like, she's dressing in... It is hard to dress your body when you've either lost weight or gained weight, especially if it's been sort of a long time that you are one way and then you go to be another way. So congratulations, Miss Nestor. There isn't one body size that's perfect, but there is healthy for you. And I approve of everyone, doing their squats or their walking pad and doing small little steps to be healthy. So good on you. I don't say a lot positive, but good on you.
Kathy Nestor. I'm one of the attorneys representing Mr. Robinson today, and I do have some questions for you.
Okay.
So you mentioned that you checked in around 11 a.m. on the day of the shooting. Is that right?
Yes,
Did you know in advance there was going to be this event on campus?
I did. I signed up for an overtime shift, so yes.
You
For the special
signed-
event, I signed up for the overtime shift.
Got it. And so did you attend any type of debrief or briefing or meeting to prepare for the security of this event?
I did not, because that morning when I got there, we had individuals on top of the Hall of Flags. So when I walked in, I just checked on, was going to get my uniform on. The chief Long got a text or an email or phone call stating that there's people on top of the Hall of Flags throwing stuff down to the tent. Therefore, he sent the 2 officers that were on duty down to secure the area. I got dressed and then came back on, and then went to the Hall of Flags to secure that area.
So you never attended any kind of, I'll just use the word debrief or meeting to talk about what the officers on scene were going to do that day to keep everybody safe?
No, not that morning.
Do you know if there was such a meeting?
I don't know, because when I got there, it was starting to, people were throwing stuff down the tent.
And do you know how many UVU officers you guys employ normally?
Employee, there was 15.
And do you know how many?
Now, that will be interesting for possibly a civil case or a wrongful death case against the university or the security team. Now, I don't know how that would break down again, and I don't know. I have not been following this case to the point that I know if there are any wrongful death suits in the works or waiting. But it would be interesting to note that the security team didn't have a focused meeting, or maybe since he was more auxiliary or, PRN staffing, overtime staffing, there was a meeting and he wasn't included in that. It will be interesting to see if if there is a trial going forward, which I'm 90% sure there will be. How much of, the pre-event security for Charlie Kirk will be a factor. How many holes will be exposed, and how much will, his security and other future security want to talk about operational wise, in a trial when they still have to, protect people going forward. It will be interesting to see that play of different sort of focuses, lenses, and priorities. That's kind of, look, I nerd out on this stuff. Like I said, I am the weirdest mix of Vulcan, philosopher, and Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch, best movie ever, changed my mind. I gave birth to both a female and male Lilo, though. That's been interesting.
You were assigned to cover that event that day?
That were assigned to cover it. There was 6 of us there was patrol 1 and then 5 others that were there with the chief.
Did you all have an idea there were going to be thousands and thousands of people there? Was that a surprise to you?
Had an idea.
And you only had 5 officers?
6, yes.
6, I'm sorry, counting you, I was
Yes.
thinking. And of those 6 officers, are you all armed? Do you carry weapons?
Yes.
What type of weapons do you carry?
Glock, pistols.
And was there any use on campus of, I think they're called magnetometers, but the machines you walk through at TSA and the airport where it checks to see if you're carrying anything metal, what we all had to go through to get in the courtroom. Were there any machines like that set up or being used on campus that day?
No.
And as far as you know, were there any drones that were flying above campus that day?
Not that I know of.
And congrats, Cat Toe 1609. I'm 15 weeks into a strict keto diet and I've lost 30 pounds. Even more important is my emotional health. Absolutely. It's really weird. It takes your brain a long time to catch up with your body. So I'm glad that you are having a good time. Your energy is better and your inflammation is down. I tried keto. I am not disciplined enough. And with not all of my family doing it, I know these are excuses. If you're disciplined enough, you can do anything. But I found it incredibly difficult to kind of make an entirely separate meal for me and my husband, and then for the kiddos. There were the temptation, and I am not strong.
And did anyone ever talk to you about covering anything near or on top of or in the Low-C building? Were you ever assigned that area before the shooting?
No,
Do you know who was?
I don't.
And when you got up to the roof that afternoon, was anybody around that was law enforcement?
No.
Nobody on the roof?
No.
Nobody on the stairway?
Nope.
Nobody on the walkway?
Nope.
Okay. And in the state of Utah, is a campus a gun-free zone? Are students allowed to have guns on campus?
It's an open carry state, so yes.
And did you see anybody that was armed that day other than law enforcement?
I did not see.
Were you aware of whether Mr. Kirk had his own security team present there with him?
Yes.
Did you communicate with any of those people?
I saw one individual that was on top of the hall flags right next to me, yes.
Okay, and that was before the shooting?
Yes, and then I saw several down in the crowds and down by him, yes.
And were you aware of whether that person was armed either?
I was aware he was armed.
Okay. Was there any other law enforcement agency besides Mr. Kirk's private security team and your 6 officers, including you, that were covering that event that day? In other words, did you have any Provo police or Orem police or anyone that you knew of or federal agencies?
I don't know.
You never saw any that day?
No, not until.
I think you cut out carbohydrates. It's pretty simple math, but I know there's a math to it. But you stay under a certain level of carbohydrates, and your body, instead of using glucose from carbs, uses fat, so goes into ketosis, meaning that now you do lose a lot of weight at first because of the carbohydrate and glucose kind of breakdown, and metabolism uses a lot of water. But for the people that use it and like it, it really works. I have never found that taking things out completely works for me because I'm such a picky eater. But trying to make better choices, small better choices, that's what I'm trying to do.
The response came in.
You did mention, I think I heard you just a few minutes ago testify, you turned over the scene on the roof to a woman who was a deputy sheriff, right?
Yes.
And that you turned over the scene where the individual dropped off to, I believe you said, was it Orem Police?
Payson.
Payson Police, thank you. Those people weren't there till after the shooting, right? They were part of just a response of everybody in the area?
Correct.
Okay. Did you receive any type of briefing materials, written materials prior to the event that talked about who would be covering what or anything like that?
No, not that morning. Like I said, it started getting hectic, so we were trying to get down to the security area and push people away from the top of the tent.
Now, when this event was over, you prepared a report, is that right?
I did.
And in the report, it covers a lot of what you testified to with Mr. Gernander, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I think you said you attended, 600 hours of post-training?
It's around 600 hours, yes.
And I'm sure somewhere in that training, you were taught the importance of your police report?
Yes.
And how it will be relied on years later to recreate events like it's being done right now. And so you know it's really important to be as accurate as possible in your report?
Yep.
Oh, Nestor. Step away from the lament configuration. Do not summon Hellraiser. Look, Kathy, Miss Nestor, I just gave you a compliment. But we know you. We know you've tried these gotcha questions. Sweetheart, I'm begging you, please be right in whatever factoid you're going to try to catch him and gotcha on. Because I swear, the buildup is insane. And then you go, you whiff it every time. I feel like Charlie Brown, only this Lucy is hoping for you to get it this time. Come on, you can do it. Please be good this time.
We put up Bagley 1. Can we switch it over to the defense table, please? Thank you so much. And show it only to the witness. This is his report. It's mine.
All right.
Do you see that report in front of you?
I do.
And is that the report that you prepared, or did you prepare this report?
I didn't. I did a supplement on it, but I didn't prepare the reports, because the incident was a big agency assist, so obviously it says.
Keto brains might be the same thing. They're neurotropics, and I believe there is a mushroom component, but I will have to actually look into it. But I believe there might be some components of lion's mane mushroom or something. I know it's not shiitake or psilocybin, sadly. It wouldn't be legal to sell here. Dang it. Which attorney better, James Owens from Sarah Boone or Nestor? If Nestor would slow down and actually know her points, I think she gets, I don't know if it's hubris or what, but it's like she gets 90% there and then she whiffs the landing. She either, slightly misstates facts or tangles with opponents that know a lot more than her. So I think she could be formidable if she could just stick that landing.
Add all the responding officers to that effect.
Oh, we need to go to the page. Thank you for pointing that out. Can we please move to page 3 or 5 maybe. All right, now, let me ask the question again. Sorry, we just had the cover sheet up. Is that your report?
Yes, this is.
Right, and did you prepare that?
I did.
When did you prepare this report?
It looks like it was done the next day, either that day or the next day. So I want to make sure that I have it done where everything was fresh on my mind.
And do you have a copy of it in front of you?
I do.
So we will do a slight tangent because you guys are asking about keto brains, and I am currently on my, I think, second week or first full week of taking it, like 5th day. What I can tell you is the first 2 days I thought it was okay. Switching to Rumble Studio is on my to-do list. I just haven't done it yet. I was hoping to do it this week when I was feeling better. So back to keto brains. So I'm on day 5. The first 2 days I was really thinking it was a placebo effect, but I felt a lot clearer and had a lot more energy. What I will caution you, because I did not realize this, it made me feel so clear that I didn't realize I was pushing myself. So I definitely went from like 0 to 60, kind of riding the tiger's blood, Charlie Sheen allegedly. So I kind of went full steam the first 2 days, and then the third day, despite taking keto brains, I was just flat on my back, giggity, just completely worn out. So there is, I think, I'm noticing a difference. I can't tell you what you'll notice, and obviously talk to your doctor. But I'm probably going to subscribe. What I will tell you is, though, if you are, if you have been dealing with chronic stuff, it does kind of make you feel like you have a lot of energy. So really listen carefully to your body about limits and things, because I'm still really working on that. Like today, I really wanted to go on my walking pad and do weights, but I'm probably just going to do a walk after this stream. Because, 2 days in a row might be too much. So just learning to pace yourself, and obviously, talk to doctors, all that jazz. I am not a doctorologist. I am not a priest. I am not Oprah or that guy who did Heaven's Gate. Although I have to say, I have thought about this long and hard, giggity. I would be the best cult leader. Not only because I would only, ask for a 7% contribution net, not gross. No capital gains, unrealized gains either, tithing. But I also don't want to sleep with your wife and or husband. I am the first cult leader in history that wants none of those shenanigans. In fact, I want to be a leader of a bunch of hermits. Like, we barely see each other. We'll get together for like a D&D game, but then we'll go back to our caves.
As a matter of fact.
May I just step in and just make sure that it's the same one? May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Okay, good.
We got to ask this now. Did you use AI to help you prepare your report?
I did not.
Okay.
Not until the 501c3 goes through. Look, I'm just saying, tax exemption for wigs. Could be a religion, damn it. As Bender Bending Rodriguez from Futurama says, this is the worst kind of discrimination, the kind against me. I don't know why that line is my favorite, but the more and more I'm on the internet, the more and more that line just makes me snicker. Oh, dear Lord. Kathy, I'm trying to be on your side.
Okay, good. When you prepared your report, you referenced when you first heard the shot, don't you?
Yes.
And what is the time that you say that you heard the shot?
12:23.
Right. And when you wrote that report, you did not state in your report the direction you heard that shot come from, did you?
No, apparently not.
And take your time and look at the whole report and see if there's anywhere in there where you ever mentioned that it came from the east or to your right.
And this is the stuff that pisses me off. This is the kind of idiotic, ridiculous, pedantic, word for word go through of a report that Darrell Brooks would do. This is not what I would expect an actual defense attorney of note to do, to go, line by line. Again, I understand they're not working with a heck of a lot, but I think it degrades her position and her actual achievements when she does stupid things like this that we have seen from the likes of Darrell Brooks.
I don't see a direction.
Okay. And you also, I believe, in your report, you also don't state whether or not, you don't mention anything about thinking it came from the Losi building or anything like that, right?
Later on, when I recognize when I saw the empty holsters, I think I actually said that in there, where I see the empty holsters, I realized the line of sight.
Okay, so let's talk about that holster for a minute. So you heard the shot, and you only heard one shot, correct?
Yes.
And then you came down from the walkway above the tent, right?
Yes.
And you came down to really the grassy area that we've all been looking at, the courtyard.
Yes.
And there was kind of chaos, people running around.
Yep.
Yes. And while you were down there, you saw what you said was an empty holster.
Yeah, as I was clearing people out and making sure that the evidence was preserved, about towards the top, after a little bit, I saw an empty holster sitting there.
And when you say towards the top, can you be specific and tell us where you were?
So on the south side in the courtyard, there's some tiers of seating where the grass is different levels. And it was towards the top, maybe just right before the cement is where everybody's standing. So there's different levels. It's towards the top on the grass.
And when you saw the holster, can you describe to me what it looked like?
An empty concealed holster.
For what type of
For a
weapon?
pistol.
Okay. And did it have any markings on it?
I didn't even know, not that I noticed.
And what happened to that holster?
I have no idea.
Did you ever take custody of it?
Nope.
Did you ever tell anyone else to take custody of it?
Nope.
You just left it on the grass?
I did.
Did you poke it with a stick? Miss Nestor, come on now. You went to school for a bajillion years. You are probably still working off college debt. Please, please restore my faith in the higher institutions of, education. Not that there's much faith left, but please, please. Come on, Kathy, I believe in you. It's day one, sort of.
Was it ever fingerprinted to your knowledge?
I have no idea.
Okay. At some point, there were drones in the air. Is that right? Did you become aware of that?
Yes, I was made aware of that.
Right. Do you know who put the drones in the air?
Sergeant Cam Nelson with the Provo Police Department.
Right. So it wasn't UVU?
No.
Did you guys even have drone capability? Did you have a drone on campus that you used?
No.
All right. So someone would have had to bring one.
Well, I don't think they're getting. I am sure that holster was picked up. He's probably just not the witness that picked it up. 90% of how long this trial is going to be is probably the miscellaneous and unrelated evidence that was picked up at the scene, and all of the technical, kind of functional witnesses that have to come in and say, yes, I picked up the piece of bubble gum here and gave it to, Detective Cletus to put in evidence, and then lab attendant Trisha has to come out and say, I picked it up from Detective Cletus. So I am sure that they actually do have a chain of custody on the holster, and anything that was even slightly evidentiary. This is only to get the magistrate or whoever is judging to probable cause, that 51% of it is more likely that he did it than not, and we can move on to a trial. So they are not probably putting out, all of that sort of ticky-tacky evidence that doesn't really go to the main narrative.
After the shooting on campus, because you wouldn't have had one there.
True.
Right. You mentioned that as you were coming down into the grassy area from the top above the tent, you come down the.
Well, I believe the holster is important because if you didn't catch yesterday's stream where we were kind of going through the start of it, there was an older gentleman. And again, whether he is linked or not to this grander Tyler Robinson alleged plan or not, he was a known sort of agent provocateur and PDF who said as soon as the shot was fired, "It was me, I did it." Now, I believe that was on the lawn where the tent was, and he was taken into custody. So, if you remember that day, it was announced pretty quickly that they had someone in custody, but it turned out not to be the actual alleged shooter. And I believe that there was maybe a kerfuffle to get him into custody, and the holster might be from him. So I do think it will be important in the case, the totality of the case that the state brings on. But I think that they're not going to bring, a lot of this in until the trial. And when I say whether or not there's going to be a trial, I don't know how the judge is going to think. We won't hear back until September whether, what he's going to make a ruling about this hearing. So it will be interesting to see going forward what he rules. While I predict that this is going to go forward to a trial, I never want to say anything in factuality when I'm not a lawyer. There could be 1,012 things that could be little perfunctory things that if they're not done just right, they could throw this into chaos. So there's always the potentiality that things could go tits up, as they say, which I've always thought is a bad way to say, things go bad, because every man I've ever, known, and some of the women think boobs are okay. So I've never understood how tits up would be bad. But I guess if you have a cow and it's no longer living, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I got on that train of thought, but I just thought boobs are always good. I don't understand why that's a bad saying. Let's continue before we derail any longer.
Hall of Flags, you come into the grassy area. You mentioned that you heard, I guess on your radio, that they had a suspect in custody.
Yes.
Right. And so how long do you think between the shot being fired did you hear that?
I was in, like I said, trying to get down the stairs, jumping over people, trying not to step on people as people were fighting up. Within 30 seconds, maybe.
Right. So they pretty much instantly had someone in custody.
Yes, and that's why I was quite surprised.
Were you aware of where the person was taken into custody?
Right down by where Charlie Kirk was sitting by his tent, somewhere down there.
So in the courtyard area, the person would have been in the courtyard area at the time of the shooting.
Yes.
Was that person in or near or around the holster in any way?
No.
You don't know?
No, what he wasn't. Where the holster was up on the top level up there, and it was where when the incident happened, when Charlie got shot. Within seconds, the other officer that was down by him said that he was in custody with a prisoner of the shooter. So within right there.
You didn't, at that time, it was your understanding the person they took into custody was close by Mr. Kirk, is that right?
Yep.
But it didn't occur to you that, well, that's not where I heard the shot come from. They must have the wrong person. I should talk to somebody.
During the chaos moment, no. That's they said they had a person in custody. I figured those guys saw something I didn't see.
Wait, so you want him, Miss Nestor, as soon as they have someone? Wait, it's not him. I heard it from somewhere else. And they're going to say, great, Lone Ranger. Sir, you are free to go. I know you're shouting you did it, but this man heard something else. It's these kind of questions that make that, oh, she's gonna hurt my brain.
They took the person in custody, and I thought that was him.
Okay. This would be a good stopping place because I'm about to start another section.
Okay.
So maybe we could go 5 minutes early for lunch.
Absolutely. All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you, officer.
And we get to skip all the way through lunch. Sadly, we come back to Nestor. Dun dun dun.
I believe we left off cross-examination. Ms. Nestor, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, may it please the court.
All right, you may.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I do want to circle back before I start my new section on I just want to.
No, Miss Nestor, we are going to start as we mean to proceed. There shall be no circling back. I am going full Gandalf on this. There shall be no circling back. I need a staff. And I need a staff. I need assistance, and I need a magical staff to, focus my light onto Arda. Damn you.
Specify two things. First of all, we talked about that you had no briefing or no materials about security on campus for this particular event. Did you ever have any operational or tactical plan that you were given for that event?
For this event, no.
Okay. And you also mentioned that you've done SWAT in the past.
Yes.
Were you a sniper?
I worked well with them, but I was not a sniper.
Okay. So when you, okay, just strike that. Also, we talked about the holster that was found. Are you aware if there were any other guns confiscated on the scene that day?
I'm not.
You don't know one way or the other?
I don't know.
All right, I want to go through with you your timeline. You mentioned that you started at the Hall of Flags, right? And then you came down. It took you a minute to kind of navigate the stairs with the crowd and the chaos and everything. And then you were in the grassy area of the courtyard for a bit. Is that right?
I guess about 30 seconds to get down the stairs, and then I went right down to where the tent was.
And that's where you found the holster.
No, the holster was up higher. So I went down by the tent, so
Oh.
it's lower level. So as I came down towards where Charlie Kirk was shot, I went down towards the tent just to see what was going on down there, because I didn't know exactly what. I heard the gunshot, didn't know exactly what was going on. 'Cause
I'm
was
sorry,
above
I
the
missed that you went down to the tent. So let me ask you about that. So what did you do when you got down to the tent?
When I got down the tent, Charlie was gone. They put him in an SUV and left. At that moment, there were still some people running around, so I decided to preserve the scene as much as I could with trying to escort people out, and that's why I went back in and started pushing people off the grass area to conserve any ammunition or any casings or anything to that effect that would be around. I want to make sure people were off and there was as much evidence preserved as possible.
So just to be clear, by the time you got to the tent, Mr. Kirk had already been removed and taken from the scene. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So in your professional opinion, what was the perimeter of the crime scene?
What do you mean by the perimeter?
The perimeter, like how far did this crime scene stretch? Like where did you want people to move off of?
Well, at first I wanted them all off the grass because, like I said, I thought we had a suspect in custody, so to me it would be a close encounter, so I was trying to push everybody off the grass in case there were shell casings or to that effect that I got.
It would be the university, ma'am. The entire university. But I understand how she's breaking it down, and I understand how he's breaking it down. Look, this may have been what got me in trouble in school, these sort of questions that make you explain how you deducted from, basically I was able to, from disparate items of data, deduct and come to a logical conclusion. And the teachers would have to explain how, like the cat and the bird and the chicken all go in the barn, and I understood that we were grouping farm animals, and I was bored. So I may have been a little less than kind to the kids that ask the same question over and over again. So this may be one of my things. I get inordinately rageful when people ask really dumb questions, in my opinion, which I have no business doing, because me in math class, queen of the dumb questions.
On the grass. So after I pushed him off to that part and getting up to the top where I saw that empty holster, when I saw that empty holster is when things started slowing down for me a little bit. All the chaos and stuff that's when I realized that was a rifle shot, not a handgun shot.
Okay. And that's when you saw the Losi building and it occurred to you should go check it out.
Yes, it was right in my line of sight.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole time that this is going on, you had an active body camera on your collar, is that right?
That was right on my
Your
chest, yes.
Okay, and it was on.
Yes.
And it appears to me from reviewing your body camera that there was another individual who was with you that went to the Losi building who was in civilian clothing but appeared to have a gun. Who was that?
I don't know who he was exactly. He had a badge on, and I had somebody with me to back me up, so I ran up the stairs to make sure I had somebody with me.
So you don't know what agency he's from or where he's from?
No.
And it looked like he had a pistol.
Yes.
Is that right?
A handgun, yes.
Or a handgun. Yeah. And so the two of you go to the Losi building.
Yes.
When you reviewed the videotape at the police department later, did you check to see if anyone had been on the Losi building after the shooting, after this individual had jumped off that you've already talked about? Was there anybody else on the roof? Did you check and see in that gap of time?
In that gap of time, no. So once I put up the barrier, I only walked up to about that point, then I went down and reviewed the video from that moment on.
So are you able to say for one way or the other, if anyone else had been on that roof in between when the person jumped off the building and when you came on the roof, are you able to say one way or the other?
There was people out there looking for an individual that ran that way, because when I first got told the individual ran heading north, we didn't know where the shooter was, so we started climbing up and looking, clearing the building. And it wasn't until I went to the PD and actually saw him jump off of the building that I knew he was off the building.
Let me rephrase that, because I think I either asked it badly or you misunderstood me. So let me go back again. So from the time that the individual...
No, there was no one-armed man, despite Candace Owens' fever dreams, bless her heart. It wasn't bees of the tactical variety with little hats on that keep kosher. So I'm pretty sure it was just, this woman and her questions. I remember why I had to fight so hard to say something nice about her.
That you spotted on the video jumped off the roof, right? The individual that you thought was in the prone position.
Okay.
Between that and when you got on the roof, did you ever check to see if anybody else had been on the roof in that period of time?
Yeah, and I didn't see anybody.
So you
I
did
didn't
watch?
notice anybody. Yeah.
You didn't, did you look on the video to see that entire, okay, that's what I'm asking. So you did not review the video to see if there was someone between you, that individual jumping off and you coming on, if anybody had been on or disturbed that scene in any way? Okay. But once you put the tape up, then we're confident from that point on the scene was preserved, right? By the way, where did you get that tape?
Officers responded on the scene that he was down on the bottom and threw it up to me, so.
Okay. So you didn't have it on you?
No,
And you didn't leave the scene to go get it?
no.
Someone threw it up?
You weren't carrying your tactical tape roller? Not much. Kathy Nestor is testing my sanity already by asking inane and redundant, pedantic questions. So that's kind of where we're going right now.
Yes.
Great. All right. While you were on the roof, did you encounter any spent casings?
As a matter of fact, no, that's why when I saw the prone position where the person would be laying down as a sniper, being around guns and snipers all the time, I was looking for a spent shell casing. I couldn't see one. I was looking over the edge, looking all over the place, making sure the gravel wasn't disturbed, and I couldn't find a shell casing at that moment.
And that would be, the reason you would be looking for that was because some types of guns, when they shoot, eject the casing automatically, right? Some
Yes.
do, some don't.
Yes.
Right. And then you also didn't find any unshot bullets?
No.
Okay. Are you aware of there being a bullet found on another roof?
I'm
in the
not.
Vicinity? Were you aware of another bullet being found on the scene, not on the roof of the Lucy building?
I know.
All right,
There's
your
a
body
magic
cam
bullet.
footage that I reviewed appears to end while you're still on the roof. Do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right at that moment.
Okay. And do you know, did you ever turn it back on that day or go get it, I don't know, what do you have to do, charge it or stick a new battery in it? I don't even know.
Usually dock it, but no, I didn't go back. It was too chaotic running around.
So that,
There was no docking. Thank you, God. I'm glad. This is a nice Christian channel.
27-minute and 35-second body cam that starts when you're at the Hall of Flags and ends while you're still on the roof, but haven't put the crime tape up yet. That's the only body cam you have that day?
Yes.
Great.
Except for
You
a
mentioned when
secret
you went to the
GoPro.
police department, you watched the video where you saw an individual up on the roof,
Yes.
right? And that individual was in the vicinity where you saw the disturbance in the gravel.
Yes.
And when you looked at that video, were you able to identify the individual's face?
I know.
Were you able to identify any markings on their clothing?
I know.
Were you able to identify their height?
No.
When you all,
Their
when we looked at
bald
the picture
spot?
of the, I think you called it the sniper perch, I'm gonna use your words.
Kathy, never do that anymore. Look, it wasn't cool when it started, but don't. Look, we get that you're not aware of any tactical terms. We'll call these your tacta fingers. You don't need to do this. We understand you have no idea what you're talking about really loosely or colloquially. But could we possibly never do that again?
It looked like there was a measuring tape laid out next to it. Were you present when they measured like the distance, like how tall that person would have been?
I was not.
So you don't know what that
I
is?
don't.
Were you able to tell the person's weight from the video that you saw?
I can tell he wasn't heavy set. So
Okay.
I'm more of a skinnier person.
Could you identify what shoes they were wearing?
Body
I could not.
shamer.
Could you identify anything about a hat or what was on their head?
At the moment, no, I couldn't.
Okay. And did you see a gun in the video?
I saw a long black object in the left hand as he was running across the roof.
And in fact, did you describe that in your report as a bag?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why.
All right, let's pull that report back up, please.
Oh, dear Lord, no, let's not. Do you know where you're going to? Do you have a clue what you
Oh,
are
never mind. I don't think you
going
mentioned what
to
you
do?
saw. So in your report, let's pull that back up, please, page 5 on the Bagley one. So looking at the second page, you're actually going to have to go to page 6, I think. You talk about what you saw in the video where they jumped off the roof. And again, I'm going to remind you of our conversation we had before about you understand how important these reports are.
Yep.
And do you mention anywhere in this report that you saw a gun?
I did not. I just had an object.
Did you mention that you saw that object? Is that on here?
Nope.
Okay, so you left that out. Now, have you looked at that over and over again?
The video? No,
Yeah.
I've only seen it like twice.
Oh, really?
Yep.
When's the last time you saw it?
It's been months.
Okay. The last time you saw it, were you able to tell what that object was in his hand?
Yes.
Now-
Well, not tell what it is. I can see there's an object in that left hand. Yes.
And could you, knowing what you know about the case today, do you have an idea about what that object was?
It looks like a rifle or something to that effect. A long object.
It looks like a rifle?
Like a long object, like skinny and long. You can see it's like almost like it's covered over something.
So you saw the cover, which was the towel, right?
Yes, and the
Was
shape
an
of it is long.
umbrella.
Okay.
You know.
So you can see a towel, but you can't see an actual
I don't know if it
gun.
was a towel or blink. I don't know what it was.
But you can't see an actual gun.
No,
in the
like
video.
an object, like a form of a gun, like a long object.
Okay. All right.
I would rather
At the end of that
actively do
day,
war
what
shot
time did you
tests
leave
on
the
an
campus?
anthill.
I was probably like 9 o'clock that night. Maybe.
This particular prosecutor is having a hard time. His ADHD is more of the joking kind, which is good because mine is the ragey kind. So
Somewhere around there.
And did you come back the next morning and work some more?
I came back the next morning, yes.
And you worked all day the next day?
On and off.
When you left at 9 p.m., did you or anyone else know who the shooter was on that day?
I know. Not that I know of.
And when you came back the next morning and worked that afternoon, all that day, did you or anybody on that campus know who the shooter was?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So nothing that you found that day, or anyone else to your knowledge, on campus was able to identify who the shooter was?
And that I know.
Right.
Well, during the time I was there, no, that I knew of.
I also want to talk to you about that giant picture that was showed to you. Do you know,
Exhibit 35, I think?
yes, it's Exhibit 35. Do you know who took that picture, where it came from?
I do not.
Do you know how old it is?
I have no idea.
Okay.
is older than George Michael's. Swear to goodness, this woman. Yes, I took it yesterday with my life partner, Frank. We used the soft focus Dutch angles. We like the lens flare. We're kind of into J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, but don't hold it against us. At least it's not Kurtzman Trek. There you go.
And the pictures you were shown, exhibits 1, 2, and 3, that you got up and kind of talked about and showed all the buildings and everything. Do you have any knowledge about where those pictures came from?
I guess they were drone footages taken from a drone.
Look at this.
Do you know who's operating the drone?
photograph.
Sergeant Cam Nielsen from Provo Police
Tell
Department.
me
Provo
who
Police Department. Have you seen those pictures before today?
Before today, yes.
When did you see them?
A couple weeks ago.
And that was just in preparation for testifying?
Yes.
Prior to that, had you ever seen those pictures?
Who does number 2 work for?
Can I have the court's indulgence for just a moment, Your Honor?
You may, Ms.
Just a moment.
No, do not indulge her. Do not encourage these questions. Don't do it. Head away from the lament configuration. No need to summon
One
pinhead
last
discernment.
thing I want to clarify. We heard you testify that Ms. Richards, or I don't know if she's Deputy Richards,
She's a state employee for the forensic lab.
So Ms. Richards.
Melissa.
She is the one who took those nighttime pictures of the stuff on the roof?
Yes.
And you testified that she told you that that was what they looked like that day?
Yes.
When did you meet with her?
I talked to her on the phone. It was several weeks ago in preparation for the trial.
So prior to a couple weeks ago, you never discussed those pictures with
Yeah,
her?
'cause I'd never seen them.
Oh, so a couple weeks ago is the first time you saw them? Right. And did you write any kind of supplement to your report, to add on to your report, other than what we've gone through today, that one report you wrote? Have you ever written another one?
I have not.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you, Your Honor. I tender the witness.
Thank you, Ms. Nestor. Mr. Grunander, redirect.
That's one question, I believe, Judge.
All right.
Just one question.
Officer Bagley, if we could pull up State's Exhibit 1.
All right, let's do that.
God had a name.
You've talked about this handgun holster that you observed
Yes.
on the grass in the courtyard. I'm going to ask you if you would approach the monitor when it comes up and point out as best you can where you observed that holster, okay? Oh, here we are. So again, the question is where was that holster lying when you observed it?
So again, this is the picture of the courtyard area facing north. On the south end down here, you got different tiers of grass. On this top tier back here in this area, which is more at the center, bottom left of the photo. So it's going to be, the waterfall's on the left side, so more towards the top of it. On the south side by the Fugal building, that top tier grass is about where it was at.
In the middle area of that?
Yes.
By the Fugal building? Okay.
I'm glad that we finally get to see kind of a closer up picture because it really does help explain. I do hope that we are given kind of maybe, look, I don't know what the budget is, but a 3D demonstrative. They did it for the Idaho house, for the Idaho 4 case. And that house was exceedingly complicated. When I was reading documents, I could never quite get the layout right. So I think the state, in anticipation of a trial, had done a 3D model or mock-up. For people like me who suck out loud at spatial distancing and kind of visualizing, I would hope that their demonstratives are better, or that in the actual trial proceedings, it's made more clear where everything is. I think it will be, this is a hearing and not the trial, so there are certain things that are being held back to not prejudice a potential jury pool.
That's where I could see straight up where the line of sight was.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further, Judge.
All right, may this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, officer.
Ooh, witness one.
Just for the benefit of those in attendance that you may have noticed, I drink some water. Please, if you have water and what's been previously.
Yes, Cat Toes, remind me, this is a preliminary hearing to see if there's enough evidence to go to trial. Yes, in the state of Utah, they do this in lieu of a grand jury hearing. Now, it is a little bit different because the defense gets to have a say-so in this hearing, which is different. Usually in grand jury, the state only has to present evidence. And it's not open to the public in any way, shape, or form. So we won't ever know, or usually don't know, what evidence is presented at a grand jury unless a witness is going to be impeached and, the defense or the state will say, well, you said such and such at the grand jury. But typically that kind of information isn't known during the trial. So it will be interesting to see. Now, we won't get the judge's opinion or ruling until September. I don't foresee him finding insufficient evidence to move to trial, but I am not a lawyer, so there could be ticky-tacky technical things that I'm missing that either the state or defense did that may change, kind of the obvious he's definitely going to trial thing. So I never 100% say that this is totally going to happen, but it seems very, very likely that this is going to be going to trial.
Proof, don't hesitate. You can drink, just don't spill it.
Ooh,
Let's go to the states.
drink 'em if you got 'em,
Ready to proceed with
boys.
your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. The state calls David Hull.
And gals.
All right.
And Zimzers. It's
Would you like to come forward and be sworn in?
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give in the case now pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
All right, if you'd like to be seated right here at the witness seat, and once you're situated, there's a bottle of water to your left. And if you wouldn't mind, after you're seated, bringing that microphone closer to you so it picks up your voice. All right, counsel,
Thank you, Judge.
you're ready.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Would you please state your full name and spell your last?
Wait a minute. Is there an English accent coming from a young Hank Hill? I swear to God, he looks like Hank Hill. I'm expecting him to tell me about propane and propane accessories, and then he has an English accent. My ADHD brain is all confused. And this is what you guys are watching. Sorry, this is how my ADHD brain processes things. I find a character or someone and make everyone a character. So this is really going to screw me up. I never had English Hank Hill on my bingo card.
David Hull, Hull.
And are you employed?
I am, yes.
Who are you employed by?
I'm employed by the Department of Public Safety.
And how long have you worked for the Department of Public Safety?
I'm in my 12th year.
Are you a peace officer?
I am, yes.
Are you post-certified?
I am, yes.
When did you receive your certification?
2015.
And since that time, has your certification remained intact? In other words, has it lapsed or been taken away or anything like that?
No, it's been continuous.
I think you said you're in your 12th year. Did you already say that? Your 12th year with the DPS? Have you worked for any other law enforcement agency besides the DPS?
No, just the state of Utah.
What is your current assignment with the Department of Public Safety?
Currently positioned as an investigative sergeant at Peace Officer Standards and Training.
Was that your assignment in September of 2025?
No, it was not.
What was your assignment then?
I was under the State Bureau of Investigations, Major Crimes Division as an investigator.
Okay. Is SBI an acronym or an acronym that's commonly used to describe the State Bureau of Investigation?
It is, yes.
I can refer to it as the SBI, and we're all on the same page, right?
Yep.
Okay. How long were you with the SBI?
A little over 7 years.
And what exactly did you do? What was your assignment with the SBI?
I spent just under a year in the Alcohol Bureau and the undercover unit, and then the remainder of that time was with Major Crimes.
Major crimes. What did that entail?
Predominantly investigating crimes that are considered to be major in nature, predominantly violent crime, including homicide, sexual assault, in some cases fraud cases, kind of covered a whole gambit of things, but predominantly violent crime.
And throughout your career with the DPS, have you done any training related to murder investigations specifically?
Yes, I have.
And could you just briefly describe what that specific training entailed?
I've done internal and external courses around lead homicide investigation, officer involved.
Okay, we're gonna skip through his CV because honest to God, his haircut is giving me crisscross flashbacks from the early 90s. I mean, that haircut is so early 90s, crisscross. I miss the bus. I'm about I'm worried he's going to break out into New Kids on the Block.
But predominantly Monday through Thursday, office hours.
On that date, were you asked to respond to the campus of Utah Valley University?
I was, yeah. I was at the office in Taylorsville, and I was asked to respond down to Utah Valley University.
Okay. What did you understand was going on at UVU that day?
I didn't know much. I'd been told that there was some kind of an event and an individual had been shot.
Did you have a name?
Someone had told me that Charlie Kirk had been shot.
At that point in time, were you familiar with Charlie Kirk?
I was not, no.
Okay. Did you end up responding? So when you found out that there was an event that it was Charlie Kirk that had been shot, that was while you were still up in Taylorsville at your office?
Yes, we hadn't been asked to respond at that point. Another agent in the office showed me a video of the shooting, and I went back to work because we hadn't been asked to respond at that point.
At some point, though, were you asked to respond or directed to respond to Utah
Yes,
Valley?
yes, we were. We were asked to make our way down to the university to provide any kind of assistance that was needed.
Okay. And do you recall who directed you to come down to Utah Valley?
I believe it was Lieutenant Jensen.
And is that something, responding to a scene like this, on a report like that, is that something that's done frequently within the SBI?
Yeah, SBI functions as a supplementary investigative division for really anybody in the state who needs it, whether it's a smaller local agency that just needs additional resources. We often respond with the crime lab to help process crime scenes. But it would be normal for us to be called out to assist another agency.
Okay, so we understand correctly, when you were first directed to come down to Utah Valley, you were just coming down to give whatever help you could provide.
Correct.
Okay. That eventually changed.
Yes, yeah. My assumption was we were responding to assist process a crime scene, essentially.
Prior to September 10th, 2025, how familiar were you with the Utah Valley University campus?
Not very. I think I maybe had been there once before.
How about from September 10th onward? Did you become more familiar with the campus?
Became a lot more familiar with the campus, yes.
And in what way or how?
Both in walking the campus and looking at the incident scene, in viewing surveillance video of the campus and the surrounding areas, and just my general involvement in the investigation. I became a lot more familiar with the buildings, the amphitheater and the surrounding area, and the campus itself.
All right, and we'll come back to that here in a moment. Who else responded to UVU from the SBI?
Originally, I thought it was just myself and a couple of others. I remember Sergeant Famina, Sergeant Bricker, Sergeant L. Schultz, Sergeant Clark, Agent Brian Davis, and a number of other agents were arriving or were on scene when I arrived there.
Do you recall if other law enforcement agencies responded that same day?
Yes, there was a large law enforcement presence. Federal entities, I believe the FBI, the DEA, ATF, I think some U.S. Marshals. There was obviously our state presence, and then there was county and city and local agencies on scene also.
So had all these folks responded by the time you got here, or had they responded prior to, or?
Some could have been on scene prior to, some were arriving while I was arriving, others are.
I've wondered about the tentacle cover, the angle at which this guy had to shoot under it, maybe the tent cover. He was at the back. How well could he see him? That makes more sense. I did manage to get it though. Although tentacle makes an interesting. Yeah, I think they'll have to explain more of that, and that's where I'm hoping that they're going to have really good experts that aren't going to make it overly complicated but dumb it down. No, it's typical of Americans. Actually, there's a reason that older kind of historical films, even if it's not accurate to the locality, will use British accents. For some reason, us Americans find it more believable and authoritative. We're suckers for an accent. Oddly, the Appalachian one does not lend that credence. Something about y'all, y'all, the leftovers are in the old, country crock, tub. Doesn't lend that Mensa level authority to it.
Arrived later. I know there were several forensic units from various entities, including the State Crime Lab and other agencies.
And did you interact with all these different agencies? You personally?
Throughout the course of the following few days, probably the majority of them, yes.
I think you related that originally the SBI was directed to come down just to see if you could help. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that was all I knew when I left the office, was that go down and see what services, what can you do to help.
And I asked you earlier if that role changed, and I believe you said it did. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that. How did your role change from what you initially came down to do to whatever it evolved into?
Having been on scene for a little while, there were some conversations and discussions that took place, and I was informed by my lieutenant that myself and Agent Davis would be taking lead on the investigation on behalf of the State Bureau of Investigations.
So the SBI was going to be the lead investigative agency?
Correct.
And you were going to be the lead case agent?
Yes, sir.
Along with Agent Davis?
Yep.
Okay. What does it mean to be the lead investigator or the lead case agent?
It depends on the situation, but predominantly you're responsible for kind of directing the investigation, coordinating information that is coming in, Typically, scenes are fairly chaotic initially. So you're trying to process as much information as possible and make as much use of the available resources that you have. Kind of an organizational role would probably be a good way to describe it.
Okay, so you played an active role in organizing.
In coordination
we are-
with the administrations of all of the agencies.
We are going to have obligatory hair and fashion talk. Sir, on the stand. Hi, you are awesome. Go to a barber that doesn't hate you. Get rid of the 90s mushroom hairstyle. Because you're an attractive man. Grow a beard, as Megan Fox and I will attest, it is the glow up for every man. And then go to a tailor. Have that jacket fitted. Again, you're a handsome man. This is going to be televised. I'm trying to help you out. Again, I'm spoken for. I'm spoken for, but I'm not blind. I'm trying to help you out.
That were on scene, we were trying to coordinate efforts and get the pertinent information as quickly as possible.
Do you recall whether assignments were made, at least with the SBI agents that responded with you?
Yeah, we have a core group within major crimes that were assigned specific tasks.
Okay. And do they include the agents that you mentioned just a minute ago?
Yes, I believe so.
So each one of those agents with the SBI were given a specific assignment?
Yes, with the information we had, the agents were assigned to do specific things.
And do you remember specifically what assignments were given to whom?
Yes, Sergeant Falmina was asked to coordinate with the State Crime Lab and the responding crime scene techs to manage and process any identified crime scenes. Sergeant Mark Bricker was put in touch with UVU's surveillance and operations team to start working through any available footage or information that we had that had been recorded. Mm-hmm. Sergeant Clark was tasked with the area canvas around the campus area, looking for information or any available information from the immediate area around campus. Sergeant L. Schultz was working with the SIAC and other administration to try and manage the flow of information that had started to occur.
Okay. You said that initially when you showed up, things were a bit chaotic.
Yes.
Did that have something to do with all the different agencies that had responded?
Yes, and I think initially there was still some uncertainty as to whether we were working with an active shooter or an active crime scene. The campus is spread over a large area, and so getting that deemed to be safe is quite a process and involved a lot of people.
Gotcha. Do you know if the campus was deemed safe eventually?
Eventually, my understanding is the campus was locked down and secured, and we were able to start getting people in to start processing crime scenes and doing additional things.
Okay. But you said it sounds like that chaos eventually subsided. You got organized and assignments were made. What was the first thing that you did as lead investigator?
It kind of became organized chaos, but we did have a plan, and our priority was determining whether we had an ability or a way to be able to identify who had been involved in the shooting. Okay. That was our primary focus at that time.
Did that include collecting information that was becoming available?
Yes, we were getting a large volume of information from the general public, phone tips, people sending videos. Analysts were scrolling through social media and social sites as people were posting information onto the internet. So there was a lot of information coming in, a lot of things that needed to be processed through and worked.
Okay, were videos coming in?
So LMP 69, there's actually a reason that the old Southern aristocratic kind of tone and affect sounds very dignified. I think so I was listening to a linguist, so don't quote me on this, but it very tonally and I think follows the cadence of old British, or at least the sort of upper crusty British accent. So it does sound more dignified. Yes, I have control of your algorithm. Buckle in, y'all. It's gonna get weird. I only use my powers for good.
Yes, cell phone videos were coming in. If you imagine there's 3,000 people at an event and everybody has a cell phone, there was a lot of information that people were willing to share with us.
Right. Do you know whether you or someone else with the SBI collected or received a video from an Amanda Wright?
Yes, yeah, I know a cell phone video was collected from Amanda Wright.
And do you know
Amber,
who? I'm sorry?
Amber Wright?
Oh, I'm sorry, Amber. Well, you tell me, Amanda or Amber?
Amber.
Okay, I apologize for that wrong first name.
Is that a legit denim suit coat? Because I'm kind of awesome. I'm kind of cool with that. An upscale Canadian tuxedo top? I'm totally down for it.
Do you know who or how that video was collected?
Yeah, I spoke with Miss Wright directly on the phone to arrange a time to go and collect that video. Unfortunately, she wasn't available that day, but Agent Davis was able to go meet with her directly and collect the video.
Do you recall what date you actually spoke to Miss Wright?
If I can refresh my recollection,
Well,
I specifically...
Sure, let me ask you this before you do that.
Yes, sir.
So you have in front of you, what, your police report?
I have some notes and a timeline from my
Okay.
investigation that was part of Discovery.
And referencing that timeline or those notes, will they help you recall the date that you called Miss Wright?
They will, yes.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and refer to that? Don't read from it out loud. Just take a minute. Let me know when you've come across that information and once you refresh your memory?
Your Honor, when he's done, may I take a look at the materials as well, please?
You may.
Ms. Wright was contacted on April 7th.
Did you want?
All right. Ms. Nestor, if you'd like to come forward. You may.
What is my times and dates?
Oh, we're going to fast forward.
Mind shifting the lectrum to my right?
You're right.
Yes, it just appears when the camera's focused on you, just the way it's positioned, you're in front of the witness, and we just want to make sure that.
Yeah, it's only going to go that far. Is that going to be far enough?
I think that is sufficient. So, all right, thank you. I appreciate.
Sir, barbers across America are calling in, and that hairstyle. No, we're getting a better look at it. It was better when it was blocked. The amount of hairspray you deal with in the morning to make that hair poofy, I will never understand.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I can just start from the, are we still connected? Okay.
All right, let's make sure that Mr. Sturgill is picked up.
Okay.
All right, you may proceed. Thank you.
And if I can make
So-
a correction to that, I think.
Well, let me ask you this first.
So he needs to ask you a question.
okay.
So, Mr. Sturgill.
So you've had a moment to look at your
Yes,
notes?
sir.
Did that help you remember the date that you contacted Ms. Wright?
It did, yes.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what date you contacted Ms. Wright?
I contacted her, I think it was April 6th specifically, but Agent Davis met with her on April 7th.
Okay. Well, that was going to be my next question. So you actually talked to her was it on the phone?
It was, yes.
And did you arrange a time for either you or Agent Davis to go get the video from Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Is that how it happened?
Yes.
And then you didn't go, it was Agent Davis that went?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. And so what, if anything, has been done with that video in preparation for today?
Question for thought. Some of the stuff addressed in this hearing won't be allowed as evidence in the actual trial. Does that fact that this is public introduce a risk of the jurors knowing stuff? Yes and no. I think it is. I think it's public enough that it's sort of Pandora's box has already been opened. So there will be general facts that I think are going to be somewhat public knowledge. No, I said tits up earlier this morning or earlier this stream. I don't remember which, to be honest with you. But I never understood why that was a negative kind of phrase, like everything has gone tits up. Because, boobs have always been good. Men like boobs, kids like boobs, certain ladies like boobs. I mean, I never understood why it was a negative thing unless it's about livestock. Typically when, cows are laying legs up, I guess that's not good. So it was me trying to figure up. No idea. I was just wondering why you would say tits up because, boobs are great. So why would you make it negative? These are the things I muse upon early in the morning.
My understanding is that some edits were made by your office in order to protect some of the participants in the video.
Okay. But let me ask you this. Did you or Agent Davis visit with Ms. Wright again?
Yes, that was in April, and that was where my correction was. The video was originally provided to Agent Mortensen.
Okay.
So I misspoke.
I'm trying to figure out if that is in fact a denim suit jacket. It's just a weird fabric. Normally you wouldn't have a gradient sort of fabric. You would have kind of a solid color. And it does look like it could be the texture of denim. Again, if he can get away with it, casual is cool, but.
Okay, let's go back and let's make sure this is very clear.
Sure.
Okay, so someone with the SBI collected a video
Yes.
from Amber Wright.
Yes, Agent Mortensen contacted Ms. Wright on October 8th, and a video was provided to him electronically on October 11th.
Okay, and now I'll ask the next question. What, if anything, has been done either by you or another agent with that same video in preparation for today's hearing?
We contacted Ms. Wright to arrange a meeting so that Ms. Wright could review the video and that we could verify firsthand with her that the video was what she had taken on September 10th at the event at UVU.
Okay, and who had that follow-up visit with Ms. Wright?
That was Agent Davis. I was not able to attend.
Okay, and you know that happened because you spoke to Agent Davis?
I spoke to Agent Davis, and he provided me with a written statement that Ms. Wright had completed
Okay.
at 11:02.
Okay. And so you have seen that written statement?
I have, yes.
Okay. And you've read through it?
I have.
Does that, do you recall whether that statement was on a form or a piece of scratch paper? What do you recall?
My recollection is that it was on an official, I believe, the State Bureau 1102 statement, which is a written form that is filled out by a witness that contains the 1102 warning.
Okay, cat toes, now you've completely derailed me because now I'm thinking of flight attendants like saying, okay, and if it, in an event of a water landing, there is a flotation device under your seat. Now, if that device doesn't fails to inflate, grab your closest D cup or above. They will float to safety naturally. Let's see. Military slang has been suggested to stand for the acronym Total Instability to support usual performance, tits up. FUBAR. It could, that is my headcanon from now on. That makes sense. FUBAR and tits up. I need the movie where those were made.
And by that, you mean the advisory, the statement that's written on that piece of paper is going to be used at a preliminary hearing?
Yes.
It includes that advisory?
Yes.
Does it also include a warning that if someone provides a false statement, in this case, Ms. Wright, that it could be punishable by a Class A misdemeanor?
It does, yes.
All right. And what do you recall is the essence of that written statement from Ms. Wright? I mean, what does it basically say?
Object, Your Honor. At this point, we want to assert our standing objection to the constitutionality of allowing in Ms. Wright's statement when she is not here present in court to be cross-examined. We did include those constitutional arguments in our standing objection. Also, this does fall under the type of document that should be safeguarded under Rule 4-202.02, parent 8, parent F as in Frank, and or should be classified as protected under subsection 5O as in orange, because the disclosure could jeopardize the life, safety, or property of the witness. It's also technically a victim's. I mean, if she's present under the current theory and the information, she's technically could be classified as a victim of the event. So it also should be protected under that. So we would object to it being read in public. It would not be admissible at trial in the current format that it is due to its hearsay nature. We do think it would negatively impact our client's right to a fair trial. And furthermore, I believe the witness herself has requested that, particularly because the video contains images of minor children, which I know the state has made an effort to redact, but nevertheless, the reference to the minors, I think, would still fall under the protection. And so for all those reasons, we would object to that coming out in public and being discussed in the public forum and being published in any way. And we object to it coming in.
All right, and so if you wouldn't mind just restating the rule that you're relying upon so I can fully look at your objection.
It's the UCJA, the Utah, Code of Judicial Administration. I just blinked. The Utah Code of Judicial Administration for Rule 4-202.02.
Tyler, have you ever thought of a plea deal? I mean, Tyler, throw yourself on the mercy of the court. Flying leap at this point. Did you happen to catch any of Corey Richens' trial?
Parenthetical 8, parenthetical F as in Frank, and or parenthetical 5 and parenthetical capital O.
All right, thank you. I'm just
Yes, sir.
getting there. I want to review this before I hear from Mr. Sturgill.
Reviewing.
The 1102 statement that we intend to introduce and sort of referred to, actually brought up, I think, both. Which is, let me address, I guess, a couple of things. Ms. Nestor actually brought up, I think, both the 1102 statement that we intend to introduce and sort of referred to the video. So let me address each of those one at a time. With regards to the 1102 statement that was prepared.
But JKD Buck, there will be romantical text between Tyler and Lance. Oh, more cringe than loin fire. I didn't think it was possible, and yet this timeline delivers.
By Ms. Wright. Judge, it was gathered in compliance with the Utah Rules of Evidence 1102, specifically subsection B8. It's a statement that was gathered by an SBI agent. It was prepared with knowledge of the advisory that was going to be used at the preliminary hearing, and it also included a warning that if a false statement is given, it's going to be a Class A misdemeanor. Judge, I don't know what additional foundation you'd like. Well, that's kind of where I was going, Judge, is I was trying to lay a little bit more foundation just to introduce that statement alone. I haven't got yet to the video. But with regards to the 1102 statement, it has been collected in compliance with Rule 1102. As I stated, B3 or B8. And as we all know, Rule 1102 allows reliable hearsay, as does the state constitution, Article 1, Section 12.
So what exhibit will this be? I want to look at it not for the purposes of as a magistrate taking it into evidence, but see if it comports with Rule 1102 as stated, because I haven't seen it.
Sure.
And I haven't done the analysis to see if that objection is.
Judge, it is State's Exhibit 6.1.
6.1. Pinch hitter.
And Your Honor, just for the record, we just want to make a record too that it's difficult for the court to make a reliability finding when the individual is not here to be tested and cross-examined. And for those same reasons that we list in our standing objection, we just want to reiterate to the court that we think it really hampers you from making that reliability determination.
Thank you. Anything further, Mr. Sturgill?
Well, just that 1102 doesn't require that, Judge. It doesn't require the witness be here to corroborate the statement that they've already prepared.
All right. All right, I've had a chance to review State's Exhibit 6.1, taking into note what Ms. Nestor noted, UCJA 4-202.02, and referencing the section she did.
Well, and Judge, I don't mean to interrupt, but I had not yet addressed that rule. I would simply just add to that judicial rule, it has nothing to do with admissibility. It's simply publishing it. And I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me just hear your full
Yeah,
argument.
I didn't realize you want to hear all. I thought you were going to rule on the 1102, but
Well, I want to focus on the 1102. I want to keep this clean. So let's
Right.
focus on the 1102, and we'll stop
Sure.
there, and I can make my ruling. And then if there's any objections, I just need to take it one step at a time to be thorough. So
Sure.
I'll hear all your arguments about the 1102 statement. I'll return to Ms. Nestor for any final thoughts, and then I'll make my ruling, and then we can move to the next
I
stage.
appreciate that, Judge. And I think I think I have addressed the 1102 question. As far as admissibility under Rule 1102, I thought that's what you wanted to rule on first, and then I would address the UCJA 4-202.02. And if you want me to do that now, I can do that. And it's just simply that it has nothing to do with admissibility. It has everything to do with publishing that. And Judge, I think if you'll look at that written statement, I believe Ms. Wright's personal information, for the most part, has been redacted. Other than that, beyond that, Judge, I'll leave it up to your discretion.
Well, as it relates to, well, let me take it one at a time. Let's start with the last statement. What I have in front of me, Plaintiff's Exhibit 6.1, has her full information in here: address, phone number, social security number.
Okay, Judge, I apologize for that. I thought we provided a redacted version of that. Yeah.
Intern Leroy, what are you doing? Ashley with 2 Y's, 1 E, and an X.
What's going on here? I think we provided you with an unredacted version some time ago. The version that we have and are prepared to present today is a redacted version.
Could I have a copy of what you're intending to admit into evidence so I can consider what's before me?
Uh-oh, the judge is irritated. Be prepared.
Judge, we can bring it up electronically. We don't have a hard copy of that.
All right, I want to make sure that's not coming on screen. It's just coming
Yeah.
on my screen to review it. All right. Okay, no, and that's fine. It's not, it's just for my, that I can look at it on my screen because I'm trying to evaluate, so if you just want to put it back on my screen. All right, well, so what I'm doing is I'm looking at this, and just for clarity, moving forward, if there's a particular exhibit, I'll ask that you provide it instead of me relying upon here, just so there's no misunderstanding, and I can see exactly what is being moved into evidence. I don't want to assume,
Right.
and I want to do the proper analysis. All right, so
And I appreciate that, Judge, and I apologize. I understood that we were presenting redacted copies today, and
Okay.
I think there's just
No,
a little
that's
bit of glitch, so I apologize for that, Judge.
all right, and Ms. Nestor, I just want to make sure that you're looking at this exhibit as opposed to what I was just looking at in regards to your arguments. With this clarification in mind, any update to your argument or anything that you would like the court to consider?
The only other issue I think that exists with this that I haven't already raised is that there's clearly 2 different authors in the body of the document. One wrote something on the very top line, and then it looks like Ms. Wright wrote the rest of it, which we don't have any indication of who wrote that top line and when they filled that in, if it was before or after she signed the document. So I have some concerns about authenticity with respect to that as well, and that's all I have.
All right, and as I'm determining it, it does appear that the writing is different. Did you want to lay additional foundation, Mr. Sturgill, or
Certainly, Judge.
provide information for the
I'd
court?
be happy to do that. Do you have in front of you State's Exhibit 6.1?
I do, yes.
Okay. You've heard the discussion that just took place. It appears as if there's 2 different styles of writing on that form.
Yes.
Okay. I imagine that you have the writing that includes the personal information from Ms. Wright, and then directly below that, I think there's a line there that appears to be arguably writing prepared by someone else. Is that in fact accurate, that that is a different
That's correct.
author of that writing? What do you know about that writing on that first line just below statement of incident?
Because we were asking Ms. Wright to verify a specific video, the file name for that video was written on the statement in her presence, and then that video with that file name was then shown to Ms. Wright to verify that it was, in fact, the video that she had provided to us.
Okay. And so was it you or SBI agent Davis that prepared that?
Based on the writing, it appears to be Agent Davis's writing, but it's not my writing.
All right. But that is the routine, or is that kind of how you commonly do this?
In this case, because we were specifically asking them to verify a specific digital file that had a specific digital name, and we didn't want there to be any errors in how that name was presented, we wrote the file name on the document for the individuals.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Nestor, with that additional information before the court makes its ruling?
Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Could you leave that on the screen for me, please? I appreciate that. And scroll down to the bottom. I just want to review it one last time. All right. And I believe this is Exhibit 6.1. Is that correct, Mr.
Yes,
Sturgill?
Judge.
Right,
I would move to admit 6.1.
Thank you. So considering the arguments made by Ms. Nestor and Mr. Sturgill, I rely upon Rule 1102 as well as the Utah Constitutional Article 1, Section 12, as I previously mentioned, that final paragraph. It states, nothing in this Constitution shall preclude the use of reliable hearsay as defined by statute or rule in whole or in part at any preliminary examination to determine probable cause or at any pretrial proceeding with respect to release of the defendant if appropriate discovery is allowed as defined by statute or rule. I have examined this and clarification was made. The previous version of this would fall afoul of having identifiable personal information of Ms. Wright, and so that was removed. And this one, with the redacted portion of the identifiable information, personal information for Ms. Wright, is before me. And based off that, State's Exhibit 6.1 with redactions is admitted into evidence and may be published.
Thank you, Judge. Agent Hold, that statement that was prepared by Ms. Wright, what does it state with regards to the video that you showed her that day, or I guess Agent Davis showed her that day?
It states that she's confirmed that she did review the video and that it was a true reflection of the video that she took on September 10th, 2025.
And did she identify who's in that video in her statement?
Herself and her 2 young children.
If we could just have a clarification on the court's ruling. So I understand the court overruled and published, and I accept the ruling, but I thought under the court's previous order that the media was not going to film exhibits. And they are filming the ones that are on that screen. So I guess I just need to clarify.
Now, I do believe that this is when Charlie Kirk's parents and his widow, Erica, left the room because they were going to show the more high-definition version of Charlie's assassination. Do be mindful of your mental health. And I will be turning off X in a couple of minutes, so if you guys want to turn or move over to YouTube, I'm trying to get some new eyes, but also trying to keep YouTube going, so let's see if this will work. So about 10 minutes, I'll give you guys a warning, but do be mindful of your mental health. We will take a Moxie or puppy kitten break, but this is still a really, really hard, thing. One of those pivotal moments, we've all been forced to see and watch and, be witness to this. So it's definitely not easy. So be protective of your mental health.
Clarify that, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
No, and I appreciate the clarification. It's important. What my ruling when we came back from break was if you're objecting specifically to the exhibit and then to the exhibit being published in the courtroom and then the exhibit being published, which can be captured by media, if that's not specifically addressed, I'm going to allow it. So I didn't hear a specific objection to that. So I appreciate you bringing that up, but that's how I'm looking at every single objection, just for clarity of the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. So just to make sure I correct the record, we are objecting to the publication of this under the UCGA rules for the reasons I said, but I respect that you've ruled on that. And in the future, I guess we'll just make particularly clear we're objecting to publication because I do think anything that's getting on that screen is getting filmed.
Okay.
So thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Nestor. And Mr. Sturgill, did you want to respond? I mean, it's the genie's a little bit out of the bottle on this particular issue, but any record you wish to make?
We're simply going to seek to admit each one of these exhibits, and then we're going to leave it up to Your Honor's discretion whether to publish them beyond to what extent you want to publish them.
All right. Well, I would prefer argument on this issue from both sides. I don't. This is the burden of the state, so I don't want to exceed my lane by just assuming. So I'll leave it to you to make the argument. What you're requesting.
Sorry about that.
So before you're moving on, Mr. Sturgill, as it relates to
yes.
this, I want to put this to bed and then we can move on. Were you requesting for it to be published on, so you moved it into evidence, which I approved. It isn't moved into evidence, but I didn't hear anything in regards to publishing to the courtroom and then lastly publishing, which it would be captured by the camera in the background, in the back.
Judge, we believe these are public documents, and so we would ask that they be published both to the audience and to the public at large.
All right. Well, given that we've gone past the gate on this one, it's been published.
Right.
But I think we're all on the same page in regards to how objections may be made and how the court is going to consider it, so we can move forward. Thank you, Mr. Sturgill.
Thank you. Have you personally watched Ms. Wright's video?
I have, yes.
Okay. And what is depicted in that video?
It's a view of Ms. Wright's position in the crowd at the event on September 10th.
Okay. And absent the written statement from Ms. Wright, can you at least recognize the location that's displayed or depicted in this particular video?
Yes, it's the amphitheater at the Utah Valley University where Mr. Kirk was doing his event.
Okay. On your screen, Exhibit 6. Do you see anything on your screen yet? Just the very beginning.
Technical difficulty.
It's there now.
It's there now. Do you recognize what's depicted on your screen right now?
I do, yes.
And what is that?
In the background is the Hall of Flags, and then you have the gazebo under which Mr. Kirk was presenting his event from, and then the crowd between where Ms. Wright was and the stage.
Okay. But do you recognize what this is the beginning of?
Yes, this is the beginning of Ms. Wright's video.
Okay. Judge, the state would move to admit what's been marked State's Exhibit 6.1. Oh, I'm sorry, 6. I apologize.
And to what level?
Your Honor.
Hold on, Ms. Nestor. I just want to get the clarification, and then I'll certainly turn to you. So the levels of admitting into evidence, then the next level is publishing it to the courtroom, and then the next level is publishing it in a way that is captured by the media. What is your full request?
Judge, we'd ask that, first of all, it be admitted, that it be published here within the courtroom, and then that it also be published to the public at large.
All right, and I'm not quite sure what this particular video is showing. Could you lay a little bit more foundation or proffer that what this is?
Sure. You've seen this video, Agent Hall?
Correct.
What's depicted in this video?
The crowd and the beginning of Mr. Kirk's presentation to the audience in the amphitheater at UVU on September 10th, 2025.
Okay. Does it depict Ms. Wright?
I believe towards the end of the video, it scrolls back and Ms. Wright shows the people that she's with at the event and herself, yes.
All right, is there any act of alleged violence in this
No,
particular
there is
video?
not, Judge, but there is not.
Okay, I just needed that clarification. Ms. Nestor, I'll turn to you. I just want to make sure I understand the full scope of this exhibit and then hear from your objection, if any.
Your Honor, with respect to admission, we object to its admission on the grounds that it's not properly authenticated, as Ms. Wright herself is not present in. For all the constitutional reasons we raised in our standing objection, we object to that. As far as its publication, we object to its publication. It definitely is something that in its current form without her here would not be admissible in any place other than a preliminary hearing. And we feel like this would really impinge on Mr. Robinson's right to a fair trial. And so we're asking it not be published. And certainly if the court does publish it, that it certainly not be filmed.
Thank you. Mr. Sturgill, any response?
Judge, Rule 901 addresses authenticating or identifying evidence to satisfy the requirement of authenticating a document, or I guess authenticating a piece of evidence. The proponent, which in this case is the state, must produce evidence sufficient to support a finding that the item is what the proponent claims it to be. And then the rule goes on to explain or provide examples of how this rule can be satisfied. And at the very top, under subsection B1, is testimony of a witness with knowledge. That goes on to say that testimony that an item is what it is claimed to be satisfies this authentication rule. Judge, you have an 1102 statement prepared by the person who actually caught these images on her camera, on her phone. And so, Judge, I think that alone sufficiently authenticates the document. And then even further than that, you have Agent Hull, who has reviewed the video himself and authenticates it, at least with regards to location.
Thank you. As it relates to admissibility of this exhibit, I believe this is State's Exhibit 6, is that?
It is, Judge.
All right.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I add one more thing just for the record? For purposes of publication question, under UCJA 4-202.02, parent 4, parent R is in Richard, photograph, film, or video of a crime victim are designated as private court records. And I do think that based on what the state has previously referenced, they are perceiving that everyone in the audience is a potential victim, and so we think it shouldn't be published under that rule.
Thank you. Mr. Sturgill, on that final point.
Judge, I appreciate that argument from Ms. Nestor. And we don't necessarily disagree, but to that end, to protect who we believe is a victims in this video, I believe their faces have been blurred out.
Ooh, blurry face.
I see. Ms. Nestor, have you?
I think it's only the minor children whose faces are blurred out, not Ms. Wright, if I'm not mistaken, unless it's been subsequently altered.
My recollection is they've all been blurred out.
All right. I need to view this again. So let's just put it on my monitor. Again, I'm just trying to make sure that in order for make a ruling on this, I need to view it. So let's put it on my monitor, play it without any sound. Okay, my understanding is the prosecution has control of this exhibit. So what I'm asking is that the sound be turned off, if there is any, and just go ahead and play it. And it's only on, it's on all the parties' monitors, because I want you all to view it, because that can go directly to, as you've mentioned, Ms. Nestor, whether it's possibly admissible. So let's go ahead and play that. Thank you. Based off what I've watched, there was some blurring of faces, but not of all the faces, and so I'm going to rule that it is admissible. Sure, I'll wait until all parties are ready to proceed. So anything further? I just want to make
No,
sure.
Judge, you got a chance to watch that?
I did. So I'm ruling that it is admissible into evidence, again, taking into consideration the analysis the court's talked about in regards to 1102s and this particular piece of evidence as it relates to the 1102 video, or the 1102 statement 6.1. And I'm going to allow it to admit it into evidence. And because the faces of the alleged victims are not all obscured, there are some that are visible, it's not going to be published to in-court monitor and obviously not to be filmed by the media. So the court will receive it into evidence. The court will watch it again right now, and then we can continue to proceed.
Very good. Thank you, Judge.
So if to the state, if you would like to play it again for me, I'm viewing it as it relates to consideration as a magistrate.
Your Honor, this sounds like an issue that's going to come up again. I represent the news media. Can I be heard on this issue?
Yes.
I just wanted to address it. I've tried to be quiet. I just wanted to address it now because it's going to keep coming up, it sounds like. The classification rule that Ms. Nestor is citing and that Your Honor was just reading is not about in-court exhibits. That is classification for records in the court file. So it is a fundamentally different thing when we are in a public proceeding and the state is presenting an exhibit that you are relying on.
And I actually really like that the media has a lawyer, a representative that is fighting for the public's rights to see things. I think it's good that we have someone there. As much as the media is ick most of the time, it is good that we have someone that's fighting to say, this has basically been all over the internet. The cat is out of the bag. There are certain things that, yes, in a perfect world, we would sequester people and they would know nothing about, Tyler Robinson or Charlie Kirk or anything. But the fact is that these are things that have been out. The media is a thing. So there's certain elements of toothpaste you can't put back in the tube, especially in a big case like this.
And the public is being denied the chance to see it. That is a fundamental violation of the right of access. And it's a qualified right, and I recognize that. But that's not the ruling that you just made. You're just ruling based on the Code of Judicial Administration, which doesn't have anything to do with when something is presented in a public proceeding. So while I recognize there are certain things where I understand that you were going to make an exhibit-by-exhibit evaluation based on certain exhibits that may, be may cross the heavy threshold of being so prejudicial that they cannot be shown in public. That is not this. And so I just wanted to make clear that the things that are in Rule 202 are not, when it is presented in open court as an exhibit for you to rely on, the public is entitled to see what you're seeing so that they can understand what your decision-making process is. And so this one, it doesn't sound like, this sounds pretty anodyne to me. It's not even depicting the shooting. I just wanted to clarify that the classification issue about when, we're filing things with the court and we say like this, maybe we file a motion to classify. That's not the decision that you're making today. The decision you're making today is the state is presenting something to you. You're watching it. You're making a decision based on it. And the people in the gallery have the right to see that. Whether you allow EMC of it is a different question. And we think that the EMC should be allowed to for reasons that we briefed. But I do think that it at least should be published to the courtroom.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
To the parties, do you wish to respond?
We'll submit it. Well, there's other, I'm sorry.
Oh, hold on. Okay, so we'll go to Ms. Nestor first and then to the state. Mr. Sturgill.
The only additional observation I'd make is with regards to this video only, the state doesn't believe that the defense really has standing to make an argument on behalf of the victims in this case.
All right. All right, based off of what's been presented in recognizing the argument from the media, I see the differentiation and how they are differentiating the rule that was cited versus what was presented. So I'm going to go ahead and rule that this may be played in the courtroom but not be captured on video. So to the camera operator, I just want to make sure that it's going to be playing on that, but I don't want it captured. I appreciate the patience of the parties as we're going through the many layers that need to be addressed on exhibits such as these. So we'll go ahead and once that's ready to be played, let's go ahead and do that. Thank you. And that concludes Exhibit 6.
Correct. Thank you.
Now, I think if the state was really good, it's these little moments of poignance. The fact that this was a, exciting day, that they were, that she brought her kids to see this is kind of what I'm reading into this. It really highlights the absolute horror. So I don't think that two questions. Is the Utah law, or is a Utah law specifically that a press attorney is bringing up, and who's paying this guy? I believe that it's the media writ large. Now, whether all corporations and conglomerates are in that, I don't know. But basically, they're kind of for the public record. So they are fighting for the space. And this has been in other trials. I believe they're, the Lori Vallow Daybell trial, the Chad Daybell trial. You had sort of smaller interjections by the media. I think this judge has signaled that he's willing to listen to the media and, kind of take at least under consideration their arguments. So we will probably be hearing from the media a lot more. And again, this crosses not only political, international, but this was an on-air, live execution. This is kind of like a JFK situation. So this is going to be highly scrutinized, and I think the media is aware of that. So I am not sure if this is actually a specific Utah statute, because we've seen it in other trials, but it's definitely, it's definitely something we've seen in other highly publicized trial. The media is always, trying to fight for more access. And the judge has to kind of say, hey, this might be prejudicial. This is too much. This is not enough. This is too gory. And as for payment, I am not sure. I don't know if it's the AP or if it's, sort of an overarching media.
Mr. Sturgill, you may continue.
Agent Holt, did you or any other SBI agent collect additional video?
Yes, there were other videos collected.
What additional video did you collect?
A cell phone video from Mr. Phillips was collected.
And do you know who or how that video was collected?
Yes, Agent Schultz made contact with Mr. Phillips September 29th of 2025, and that video was provided to him. Subsequently, in preparation for the proceedings today, myself and Agent Davis met with Mr. Phillips on April 6th, and he completed an 1102 and went through the same process as Ms. Wright. The only difference being on this occasion that because he is a minor, his mother witnessed it and also signed a statement.
Okay. So you personally reviewed Mr. Phillips' video with Mr. Phillips?
Correct.
Okay. And you had him prepare a written statement?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Again, on this written statement, are there two different authors?
Yes, I believe in this instance it was myself that wrote the file name on the form.
Okay. And so you wrote, what part of the statement did you write?
Just the name of the file that we were asking Mr. Phillips to verify.
Okay. I'm going to have exhibited on your screen what's been marked State's Exhibit 7.1. And this should just be for Agent Hall.
That's on my screen.
Still on your screen? Do you recognize what that is?
I do, yes.
What is that?
The State Bureau of Investigation 1102 form completed by Mr. Phillips.
Okay. And did you gather that from Mr. Phillips?
I did, yes.
And again, does this statement include the advisory that is going to be used in lieu of his testimony at prelim?
It does.
And does it also include a warning that if he makes the author makes a false statement that it could be punishable by being charged with Class A misdemeanor?
It does, yes.
Okay. Anything about this exhibit look different than the day you collected it?
No.
Just the state would seek to admit Exhibit 7.1.
Ms. Nestor?
Thank you, Your Honor. We would object to the admission on the grounds that this video does in fact show a close-up view of the shooting of Mr. Kirk and grievous injuries in very stark relief. And because of that, we are particularly concerned about our constitutional claims we have made in our standing objection in terms of our ability to get a fair trial if this is published. And I think, again, we have the same issue with the court, being in a position where you're having to make a reliability determination without the opportunity for this individual to be cross-examined. Also, I do think the fact this is a minor that completed this form does make it protected. He's also potentially a victim under the same theory that has been stated for Ms. Wright and under the under the UCJA Acts, for the same reason, the UCJA rules, for the same reason, these should be protected private court records. And private means it shouldn't be played to court and it shouldn't be played to the public through the media. So we would object to its admission, we would object to its publication, and we would object to its filming. Thank you.
Any final response?
Just let me address,
Snipe Hunter, we've been calling it the mushroom haircut. We have implored this man, no, begged him, no, kindly beseech this man to change his haircut, get a beard, and get a tailor. In that order. Find a barber that doesn't hate you. Who hurt you? What, this haircut? Why? Why are you spending time to fluff up your hair to look like this? The early 90s are calling, and Chris Cross said, catch the bus. Stop the madness.
well, there's two things here, right? Let me address first the 1102 statement. Judge, I believe again that this statement was gathered in compliance with Rule 1102B8. Just to check. And the agent has explained that although Mr. Phillips is a minor, his mother was present, and that explains, I believe he said, the second signature on the form. With regards to publishing it, the 1102 statement, that is, Judge, we believe again, the presumption is this is a public record, and that it should be not only admitted but published here in court and also published so the media can record it. With regards to, well, do you want to address the 1102 and then I'll move on to the video?
All right, so we're staying focused on the 1102. Any final response, Ms. Nestor?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. As it relates to the 1102 statement and to the state representative who is displaying it, could you scroll down? I can only see the top half of this. All right. And just go to the very bottom so I can look at the totality of it. It's 7.1. All right, based off what's before me on the State's Exhibit 7.1, I find that it is admissible under Rule 1102 and to the Utah Constitution, Article 1, Section 12, the paragraph I have referred to previously, and so it is admitted into evidence. And Mr. Sturgill, remind me, were you requesting?
As a person who spends a lot of money on wigs, and I have some questionable ones, I hope he didn't spend a lot of money on that one. That's all I've got to say. Look, I too have wig regret. So, sir, I just hope that was an inexpensive one. I have been there, sir. I feel your pain. But seriously, don't buy a new one. Treat yourself. You're going to be on national TV. Get a better one. They're not as expensive as they used to be.
For it to be displayed, I'm again focusing on 7.1.
Right.
In
On
court.
7.1, Judge, with regards to the video, we believe it's admissible. It's been authenticated properly.
Hold on. I'm not talking about the video. I'm talking about 7.1,
Oh.
publishing it in the courtroom versus publishing it on to be captured by the media.
Because we think that the presumption is that it is a court record. We believe that in its redacted form, we believe it should be published in all three areas.
All right, Ms. Nestor, any final thoughts?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and grant the publishing of Plaintiff's Exhibit 7.1 in court and that the media may capture that. Let's go ahead and do so.
Scroll up. Slowly scroll down.
All right. You may proceed.
Judge, did you admit Exhibit 7.1?
It is admitted into evidence and it was
All
published.
right. Have you personally watched Mr. Phillips's video?
I have, yes.
Okay. And what does it depict?
It's a graphic video. Mr. Phillips was positioned towards the front of the crowd, and it does depict the moment that Mr. Kirk is shot.
And independent of the 1102 statement prepared by Mr. Phillips, you watching that video, do you recognize at least the location of this video?
I do. It's consistent with the event that Mr. Kirk was presenting at UVU on September 10th, 2025.
Okay. Judge, at this point, the state would move to introduce, or would move to admit what's been marked State's Exhibit number 7. We would simply ask that it be admitted. We would ask, however, that it not be published beyond that,
Ms. Nestor.
due to the graphic nature and the sensitive nature of the video.
All right.
So as to the admission, the same issues that we raised as to the 1102, we would raise as to the difficulty of authenticating when the individual is not here present, and all the same concerns that we raised about the 1102 itself, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Considering the...
I'm sorry, may I add one more? I apologize. And also under Rule 403, we think it's more prejudicial than probative, and we would raise it for that reason as well.
Any final response, Mr. Sturgeon?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And this is Exhibit 7, is that correct?
Correct. Exhibit 7, Judge.
All right. I will admit Exhibit 7 into evidence based off the foundation that's laid. The 1102 is tied directly to this, and so for admission purposes, it is admitted. I am not going to authorize publication in the courtroom or obviously through media, but I will have it played on my screen. And so I view it, and I just want to make sure, and please, counsel, given the graphic nature of it, please guard your screens because I believe we all should be viewing this. This is evidence, and I want to make sure that you all are seeing what I.
Now, I do believe that we don't see it, but the judge has a visible facial reaction. Now, kind of like a startle, which is normal, even if you're aware of it at the sound of, a loud noise. But he did look visibly shaken. I don't believe I've ever seen the closer up video. I've never gone searching for it. I've never been a person that's drawn to the sort of more Saw aspect of true crime. And I'm not judging that. It's just not my jam. I tend to ick out at movies like Saw. So it's not my jam. I understand that it is evidence, but I haven't seen it. So do brace yourself that if you're very empathetic, that you will see a reaction on his face. Though he is very professional, it's very fleeting, but you can tell he was maybe not ready for that.
To ensure that that is accurate and it's a fair representation of the exhibit that you are familiar with. So whatever you need to do, I'll give you a moment, and if you could just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to proceed. Again, I want to act in a way that is dignified in respecting the rights of all persons, and for those reasons I just want to make sure we are safeguarding to ensure this is not captured. All right. To defense, ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
All right. To the state? All right. Go ahead and let's play Exhibit 7. Is there sound? All right, let's make sure that, thank you. Thank you. That concludes playing of Exhibit 7.
And I know that we've kind of talked about him being wishy-washy and overly talky and all of that, and kind of the pontification. But I really, like him or lump him, at the end of the day, Charlie Kirk was a human being, and I'm glad that he is, despite all the spectacle and I'm sure the media push, he is giving dignity and respect. I very much appreciated the way the judge in the Athena Strand trial, conducted the courtroom. And I have a feeling we are going to get another judge who is very, very conscious of the dignity of not only the victims, but everyone in the court. And good luck, JKD Buck. May the odds be ever in your favor. Stay away from the lament configuration.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Agent Hold, any more video? Did you collect it, or either you or another agent with the SBA?
Yes, we were able to collect video. TPUSA had a videographer, Visual Impulse, who was taking coverage of the event, and they provided video to us that they had captured on September 10th of 2025.
And do you know who or how that video was collected from Visual Impulse?
Yeah, Mr. Farnsworth originally provided, I believe, a flash drive to Lieutenant O'Brien with one of the local agencies, and a short time after that, on September 10th, he provided downloadable versions, electronic versions to Agent Mortensen. And an 1102 was collected from him on May 6th of 2026.
So an 1102 was prepared by someone with Visual Impulse?
Yes, Terrell Farnsworth was the individual that prepared it, and in preparation for this, I spoke to him personally regarding that statement.
And do you know what his association is with Visual Impulse?
I believe he's the owner-operator, or the director of the company.
And then who collected that 1102 statement from Mr. Farnsworth?
It was Agent Mortensen who collected it.
Okay, and you know that because Agent Mortensen told you, or?
He provided it to me, and then, as I mentioned, I subsequently spoke to Terrell Farnsworth personally regarding his statement.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I was somewhat zoning out because I was doing a pose, but is there a person named Farnsworth? There's a Farnsworth in this trial. If you're not a Futurama fan, let me explain to you how Farnsworth is the professor, and this is kind of fun.
Who collected it?
Okay, and you know that because Agent Morrison told you, or?
He provided it to me, and then, as I mentioned, I subsequently spoke to Terrell Farnsworth personally regarding his statement.
Okay. You got a chance to look at Mr. Farnsworth's 1102 statement?
I have, yes.
Okay. And again, does that statement include an advisory that any statement that he provided would be used at preliminary hearing in lieu of his live testimony?
Yes.
Did it also include a warning that a false statement would potentially be punished by a Class A misdemeanor?
It did, yes.
Okay. I'm going to have exhibited on your screen what's been marked State's Exhibit 8.1. Let me know when that comes up.
That's come up.
I think it's a single page, is it not?
I believe it is.
Go to the top screen. Go to the top screen slowly. Can you see that, Agent Hall?
Yes.
You do recognize that?
I do, yes.
Okay, and again, that is what?
It's the 1102 statement that was provided to me, completed by Mr. Farnsworth from Visual Impulse, who is the videographer for TP USA for the events that they do.
Okay. Judge, the state would move to admit State's Exhibit 8.1.
Ms. Nestor?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, we renew our objection. This is hearsay. This statement is hearsay. We have constitutional concerns for the reasons we raised in our standing objection. I don't have that one. All right. And we would object to publication just on our concerns for fair trial, the same issues.
Young Richard Dreyfuss.
Gotcha. Yep, I think so. Thank you. And for all those reasons, we would object to its admissibility, its publication, and its ability to be filmed by the media, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor, I just wanted to check, did you get a copy of the redacted?
I was just handed it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that
right.
you had copies.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, okay, thank you. Mr. Sturgill, would you like to respond?
Sure, Judge, thank you. With regards to the admissibility of the statement, Judge, I think the foundation has been laid that this statement was collected in compliance with Utah Rule of Evidence 1102, a subsection foundation to support that, and therein can.
Okay, applying the same analysis from the previous exhibits as it relates to the written statement under Rule 1102, and also under the Utah Constitution, Article 1, Section 12, in that last paragraph, I will overrule the objection and admit State's Exhibit 8.1. Let me hold off on that final phrase. If you could scroll down to the state representative and just stop right there. Thank you. I just want to make sure I fully review it before I make that ruling. And if you could continue scrolling down. And just go ahead and scroll down to the end. I don't believe there's anything else, but I want to make sure. Thank you. So I do rule that, overrule the objection and State's Exhibit 8.1 is admitted into evidence and may be published, well.
Judge, let me speak with regards to that. With regards to the 1102 statement prepared by Mr. Farnsworth in its redacted form, we believe that the presumption is that this is a public record and that it should be published both here in court and made available to the public by virtue of the camera.
Ms. Nestor.
I just stand on the objection I made before, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Looking at the same analysis, it is admissible under Rule 1102 as well as Article 1, Section 12 of the Utah Constitution. And being that the person's identifying information is redacted and not viewable, I'm going to overrule the objection, the standing objection, and have it published both in court and maybe published by the media. So let's just get it situated. And what I'll have you do to the representative of the state, pause on the screen and then in 10 seconds, scroll down to the full text portion, and then 10 seconds later, just slowly scroll to the remainder of the document. Thank you. All right, you can continue.
Thank you, Judge.
Well, hold on, she's still going through it. She's going to show
You're
you the whole
talking to me.
document. Well, I should have clarified. Thank you. All right, and that concludes State's Exhibit 8.1, the publication of that document. Mr. Sturgill.
Judge, thank you. I appreciate that. Agent Hull, have you personally, so the video that's referenced in Mr. Farnsworth's 1102 statement, have you watched that Visual Impulse video?
Yes.
And what is depicted in that video?
It's a view from the cameras that Visual Impulse had established at the event, actually looking out from the stage into the crowd. It too is graphic in nature and shows the moment that Mr. Kirk is shot.
Okay. Does it also show Mr. Kirk throwing hats out into the crowd? Do you recall?
If my recollection serves, Mr. Kirk used to do that at the beginning of his events, and I believe the video does show him engaging with the crowd prior to becoming seated on the stage.
Okay. Judge, at this point, the state would seek to admit what's been marked State's Exhibit 8. With regards to publication, Judge, it's our position that it not be published here in the courtroom and that it not be published so that the cameras can display it.
Thank you, Mr. Sturgill. Turning to Ms. Nestor.
Your Honor, we would just renew our objections to authentication for admissibility purposes under 901. For that reason, we think it can't be authenticated.
Just one moment here.
Judge, would you like me to respond?
Yes, please.
Just with regards to authentication, again, the state must produce evidence sufficient to support a finding the item is what the proponent claims it to be. And again, under subsection B1, it's sufficient to provide testimony from someone that has firsthand knowledge or observed, has firsthand knowledge regarding the authenticity of that video. You heard Agent Holt testify that he spoke to the owner of, and the director of Visual Impulse, I believe it was testified to, that they contract with TPUSA to film their events. This particular video the state is going to, or seeks to introduce as Exhibit 8, was shown to Mr. Farnsworth. And that is the video that Mr. Farnsworth authenticates. He says that this is video that was captured by Visual Impulse cameras. So with regards to authentication, I think the state has sufficiently provided the court with evidence to authenticate it.
And this is State's Exhibit 8. All right. I'm going to overrule the objection and admit State's Exhibit 8 as it relates to publication, citing to Article 1, Section 28, 1A, that this is Declaration of Rights of Crime Victims, and it states to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity. And to those 2 points of respect and dignity, the court is not publishing this in the courtroom, nor is it being published, obviously, online. But the court will watch it in court. And again, to the parties, if you could protect your screens however you choose to, and then I'll check to see when we're ready, and then we'll have it played. So turning to defense, is more time needed too? Okay, thank you. Turning to the state, to your screens. All right, they are. I see a head nod, yes. And let's go ahead and play this video only on the monitors, and if there's sound associated with it, the sound to be played as well. And you may proceed.
And we won't be listening or hearing any sound. Now this footage is available and out there. And you can tell he is trying to have a poker face, but that's sort of an innate reaction, kind of that.
And that concludes State's Exhibit 8. Mr. Sturgill, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. So any additional video that was collected by either you or another member of the SBA?
Yes, the campus itself, UVU, is very well equipped with cameras throughout, and they were willing to work with us to provide video from those cameras, and so that was collected as part of the investigation also.
With regards to the UVU surveillance video, do you know if video was collected from there behind where Mr. Kirk was seated at the time that he was shot?
Yes, I'm aware that under the Hall of Flags there is I'll refer to it as a breezeway, but a way for people to move from one side into the amphitheater, walking underneath the Hall of Flags, and I know there was a camera situated in that location.
Okay. And do you know, with regards to that camera view, let me ask you this. So that particular camera view, there was surveillance that was provided to you or another agent from UVU?
Correct.
Okay. And do you recall who provided that video to you initially and who collected it?
Initially, I don't know specifically for that video, but I know that whole process was overseen by Mr. Olson, who's responsible for that system.
Okay. Do you have a first name for Mr. Olson?
Curtis Olson.
I'm sorry?
Curtis Olson.
Okay. And do you know what Mr. Olson or Curtis Olson's position is at UVU?
I believe he's a director.
Right. Is it his job to basically gather and forward any video that's captured by UVU?
He has a long title, but I think it's Director of Infrastructure, but he is responsible for that system.
Okay. With regards to this particular video, the video from underneath the Hall of Flags, what, if anything, have you done with that video in preparation for today's hearing?
I went specifically to meet Mr. Olson, have him review the video that we had, and again, like with the others, I had him complete an 1102 statement for us, describing his role and verifying the videos. I did that actually on July 2nd of this year.
July 2nd of this year?
Correct.
Okay.
And if you're new to trials, unfortunately, a lot of trials are like this. You're watching, hoping we're going to have that Rittenhouse, there it is, Ricada moment. But a lot of it is very foundational witnesses, making sure that all the forms are correct, making sure that Tyler Robinson's constitutional rights are protected so that this trial doesn't have to be redone. So a lot of trial is this, just going through and holding the state to its burden, making sure that everything is done correctly. It's not glamorous, but it has to be done.
Give me just one moment.
Actually, I'm going to correct myself on that if I can refer back to my notes.
Okay, please, if that, yes. Your notes you have there with you again?
Yes,
And referencing them will help you refresh your memory.
it will, yes.
Okay, so don't read from it out loud, just look at it and let us know when you've refreshed your memory.
Apologies, July 2nd seemed a little bit too soon. It was June 24th when I met with Mr. Olson.
Okay. And you personally met with Mr. Olson?
I did, yes.
Okay. And did you personally review this particular video, the Hall of Flags video with Mr. Olson?
Yes,
And he prepared a written statement?
he did, yes.
And on that statement, was that a bureau-provided statement form?
It was, yes.
And on that statement, do you recall whether it includes an advisory that his written statement would be used in lieu of his live testimony?
It did, yes.
Did it also include a warning that if he provided a false statement on that form, that he could be punished with a Class A misdemeanor?
It did, yes.
Okay.
Telling you that is a denim suit jacket with a plaid print for some reason.
Is there something displayed on your screen right now?
There is, yes. It's
Okay, it should
Exhibit
be
12.3.
Yeah, it should be what's been marked as State's Exhibit 12.3. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, it's the State Bureau of Investigation's 1102 statement completed by Mr. Olson.
Does it appear to be in the same condition as when you collected it?
It does, yes.
Which the state would seek to admit what's been marked State's Exhibit 12.3.
Ms. Nestor.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would again renew our concern about hearsay and our constitutional concerns about that raised in our standing objection. Also, the concern is that the individual basically states they verified the recordings, but doesn't say how, doesn't say whether they viewed it, doesn't say whether someone else viewed it and told them, whether someone else viewed it and told someone else who told someone else who told them. There's just no explanation. We don't think it's sufficient to meet your reliability analysis, and we object to admission, and we also object to publication. This is for all the same reasons, Your Honor.
To the state.
Ditto.
Judge, again, the state's position is that this written statement was collected in compliance with Rule 1102, subsection B8. It is a statement collected with both the advisory and the admonition. From what we've heard from Sergeant Hull, this individual, Curtis Olson, is the person it is his job, basically, to handle.
Twaddleplum, actually, Utah is rather unique. This would typically be a grand jury hearing, and typically the public and media and defense are not kind of included in that. That's usually where you'd get an indictment and then move forward in trial. Utah has these open to the public, and the defense is allowed to respond. I actually like this more. I think it's more transparent. I think that a lot of bogus cases, that maybe wouldn't pass the sniff test, wouldn't get through if you had the defense and the public to scrutinize. But it's up to every state to kind of figure out their own procedures of doing things.
This type of information and turn it over to law enforcement.
All right, I'll have, if the state representative can scroll through so I can review it in its entirety and just stop when the majority of that handwritten statement's visible. Thank you. Let me review that. And if you could scroll down to the bottom of the page. Thank you. All right, under the same analysis for 1102, under Rule 1102, as well as Article 1, Section 28 of the Utah Constitution, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Under Article 1, Section 12 of the Utah Constitution, that final paragraph, the court overrules the objection and admits State's Exhibit 12.3 as it relates to publication. Mr. Sturgill.
Judge, with regards to publication, and this particular exhibit, it's the state's position that the presumption is that it's a public record, and we would ask that it be published both here in the courtroom and that the cameras be allowed to capture it and publish it as well.
All right, Ms. Nestor.
Nothing additional, Your Honor.
All right, I note the standing objection from defense, and given the in the court's previous analysis for other 1102s, the court is going to publish it both in the courtroom and so it can be captured by the media. What we'll do is the same thing. We'll start at the top, pause for 10 seconds, and go to this middle section, and we'll pause about 20 seconds because there is a little bit, it is more dense, and then we'll scroll down to the very bottom for about 10 seconds, and then that will conclude that. So it's now on screen, and let's go from there. All right, you can scroll down. you'd like to scroll to the very bottom. Thank you. That concludes publication of this exhibit. Mr. Sturgill.
Well, in Mr. Olson's 1102 statement, he references more than one video, does he not?
He does, yes.
Okay. So you, with regards to the Hall of Flags video, have you seen that particular video?
I have, yes.
Okay. And that video, what does it depict?
It's a view kind of looking what would be east, under the breezeway towards the back of the stage where Mr. Kirk was situated. It shows some movement behind the stage area, and I believe through the gaps you can see some of the crowd in the amphitheater.
I think I've neglected to do this twice before, so I'm going to do it right this time. Would you please bring up exhibit 9 without pressing play? Tell me when you see something on your screen.
It's on my screen.
Okay. Do you recognize what's depicted in that still image?
I do, yes.
What is that?
It's the area underneath the Hall of Flags that I referred to as the breezeway.
Okay. And is this the beginning of the video? That
It is, yes.
Okay, that Mr. Olson provided you?
Yes.
Judge, the state would seek, well, the state asks or seeks to admit Exhibit 9. With regards to publication, this is another video that, due to its sensitive, the nature and the graphic nature of the video, we'd ask that it not be published here in the courtroom, nor published in any way that the media camera can capture it. And following your reasoning, Judge, out of deference to the victims and the victims' rights, to have this type of information protected.
Ms. Nestor.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would object on our standing objection grounds, constitutional issues in terms of the concern about Mr. Robinson's right to a fair trial. We agree it should not be published. We object to its admissibility.
Thank you.
Thank you for shortening.
Based off my analysis that I apply independently to this exhibit, but it tracks with the previous exhibits, I find that it is admissible, and I will admit it into evidence. This is State's Exhibit, I believe, 9. Mr. Sturgill?
Play it.
No, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is State's Exhibit 9?
Right, correct.
All right. As it relates to publication in the courtroom or by the media, again, citing to the Utah Constitution, Article 1, Section 28, 1A, it states to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, and to be free from harassment and abuse throughout the criminal justice process. I find that this does apply. And in respect and dignity and the human experience, I am going to not publish it in the courtroom, nor will it be broadcast, but the court will watch it in open court. And I note it is about, how long is this video?
3 minutes, Your Honor.
All right. Again, to the parties, if you could just indicate if your screen is obscure. Thank you, Ms. Nestor. And to the state, are your screens secure so they're not viewable? All right. Thank you. Seeing Mr.
thank
McBride
you,
nod his head,
McBride.
we can go ahead to the state.
Just to kind of orient you, we are, the judge is basically moving into evidence for the preliminary hearing, video evidence of the shooting itself. It is not being published to the gallery, nor is it being covered by the media. However, this footage, I do believe, is out in the media, or similar graphic material is out. So, do keep mindful of your mental health, and if you need a puppy kitten break or a longer moxie break, let me know.
Representative, go ahead and play State's Exhibit 9. And if there's sound, if you could activate sound. I'm not sure if there is. All right, so all right, let's go ahead and replay it. Just wanted to clarify there is no audio, so let's go ahead and restart it. Thank you.
Now, while the judge is watching these, we won't be hearing the sound or getting any sort of media feedback. And he's been pretty poker-faced. Now, obviously, with the graphic content, there was a slight movement on his face, but he, for the most part, tried to keep, a flat affect.
State's Exhibit 9 has concluded. Mr. Sturgill.
Thank you, Judge. I'm going to ask you just a few questions with respect to that video and the very end of that video, which is State's Exhibit number 9. Throughout that video, you can see a banner. Do you recall seeing a banner that's hanging basically in the middle of that video?
Yeah, I believe that's the rear of the gazebo.
Okay, the rear of the gazebo?
Yeah.
And what gazebo are you talking about?
It's like a pop-up tent that Mr. Kirk was sat underneath while he was addressing the crowd.
Okay, so just really quick, just to be clear, where in relation to that banner that you see depicted in Exhibit 9 is Mr. Kirk?
Approximately dead center.
Okay.
He's on a stage, so he's slightly raised in relation to the bottom of that banner, and then he's seated in the middle of the stage, so approximately in the center.
And how many, if you know, what's the distance between the banner and then where Mr. Kirk is seated in front of that banner, if I'm understanding you correctly?
I don't know specifically. If I had to estimate, I would say 3 to 5 feet.
Okay, so close to that banner?
Yes.
Okay, I also believe towards the end of that exhibit, well, let me ask you this. If you know, what happened to Mr. Kirk immediately after he was shot?
My recollection is that Mr. Kirk's detail, his own security team, removed him from the scene whilst administering first aid, and they conducted what would be called a hasty transport to Panogas Hospital.
Okay, before you go any further, that Mr. Kirk being picked up by his own security, is that portrayed in the video? In Exhibit 9, I'm sorry?
It's kind of on the left side, the back of that pop-up tent, and then you can see Mr. Kirk being carried down the left side of the video under that breezeway.
Okay, and then you said that he was, that there was quick transport, is that the language you used?
Hasty transport.
Hasty transport, what does that mean?
Just they were trying to get him to medical care as quickly as possible, so I believe he was thrown into one of the team's vehicles and then transported to the hospital, as opposed to waiting for an ambulance.
And I think you already stated, but let's just be clear. Do you know which hospital he was transported to?
I believe it's referred to as Timpanogos Regional.
Okay. And do you know if he was treated there at the hospital?
He was, yes.
Okay. Do you know whether or not he was pronounced dead there at the Timpanogos Hospital?
He was, yes.
Okay. And how do you know that?
The medical examiner had an investigator that responded to the scene, and I spoke with him, and he informed me that he was at the hospital when Mr. Kirk was pronounced deceased.
Okay. And that the medical investigator that you spoke to, do you know the name of that person?
Bullock, I believe, Officer Bullock, but if I can refresh my recollection.
If it'll help, if you have it in your notes, it will help you refresh your memory. Go ahead and look at that. Again, don't read from it out loud.
It is Officer Bullock, yes.
Okay. And he is a peace officer?
He functions as a law enforcement officer, and he works also for the medical examiner as a death investigator.
Okay. Do you know whether Mr. Kirk was autopsied by the Utah Medical Examiner's Office?
Yes, an autopsy was conducted by the medical examiner's office.
Do you know when and by whom?
Yes, it was late into the evening of September 10th, or it may even have gone through into the morning of September 11th.
Okay. And do you know who
I'm going to
conducted
refresh
that
my
autopsy?
recollection because of the pronunciation, if you don't mind.
If it'll help you refresh your memory, that'd be great. Again, don't read it out loud. Look at it. Let me know when you've done that, and then we'll go from there.
Dr. Guajado, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Okay. You want to spell that last
Yes, Guajardo.
Your Honor, if this is not personal knowledge, we object to the hearsay if someone told him all of this. I don't believe this individual was present at the autopsy, so we object to any testimony about the autopsy or what he was told about it.
Mr. Sturgill.
Well, Judge, if I could, I'll just simply lay foundation for the report itself. And I think this is all information that's included on the report.
All right, so as it hasn't been moved into evidence just yet, I'm not making a ruling. If you wish to lay more foundation, that's certainly your choice.
So you are aware that the medical examiner's office did conduct an autopsy?
I am, yes.
And did you receive a report from the medical examiner's office?
I did, yes.
Okay. Detailing the autopsy that was performed?
Yes. Prior to receiving the report, myself and Agent Davis visited with the doctor.
Okay. You visited personally with the doctor that conducted the autopsy?
That's correct.
Okay. And then subsequent to that, and did you discuss the autopsy with the doctor at that point in time when you were meeting with him personally?
Yes, Agent Davis and I had a fairly in-depth conversation, yes.
And where did that conversation take place?
At the medical examiner's office.
Okay. Do you recall the date and time that that personal visit took place?
I don't recall.
Okay. Was it within?
It was soon after, within a few days of the incident.
Of the autopsy?
Yes.
Okay. And subsequent to that visit, did you receive a report from that doctor that you visited with?
We did, yes.
Okay. And that's the Dr. Guajardo that you're struggling to pronounce his name. Is that
Yeah, I
fair to say?
apologize, but yes, that's who it
Okay.
is.
And the report that was sent to you, do you recall when you received that report?
I don't recall the specific date.
Okay. Have you reviewed that report?
Yes.
Have you, again, you stated earlier that this is not the first murder investigation that you've worked.
Correct.
Okay. I take it this is not the first medical examiner's report you've received.
Correct.
Okay. Do the reports typically look the same?
Yes, they're in a standard format that the medical examiner uses.
Okay. And this report that you received,
Yes.
from who you believe was the doctor you spoke to,
Yes.
that conducted the medical exam, was there anything peculiar about that particular report that stood out to you?
No, it appeared to be a standard form as used by the medical examiner when they send us reports.
Okay. On your monitor, Exhibit 11. I'm going to have displayed what's been marked State's Exhibit number 11, Judge, for identification.
All right.
And I believe there's 9 pages. So let me know when you see that on your screen.
It's on the screen.
All right. What I'd like you to do is just look at this as it scrolls down through the 9 pages and wait till we get to the very end. And if you need us to pause or stop or slow down, let us know. I want you to be able to look at all 9 pages.
Leave the cat be. Is he eating one of my wigs? Come on, ADHD.
That's the medical examiner's report of examination for Mr. Kirk.
Do you recall, you don't recall exactly when you received that?
I don't unfortunately remember the specific date when I received it.
Do you remember how you received it?
Then provided to us electronically.
Okay. Via email?
Sometimes via email, also on disk, compact disk.
Okay.
Or,
And does there appear to be anything in the exhibit before you? Has that report changed at all? Or does it accurately depict what you received initially from the doctor?
it accurately depicts it.
Does the state would seek to admit Exhibit 11?
Ms. Nestor.
Your Honor, this is an expert report without the expert being present, being offered by an individual who's not an expert in this field. If they're presenting him as an expert in this field based on the...
How dare you? He might have stayed at a Motel 6 last night. He could be a doctorologist.
limited questions about his experience in seeing previous medical exam records. I'd like to voir dire him on his qualifications to opine about it. This is hearsay. It's highly technical. It should be presented only through an expert. It could never come in trial in any other way. We submit that it is hearsay. And to the extent they're going to ask this individual about any opinions about it, that would be improper. He's not qualified to do that. And furthermore, we just think that this is clearly falling under our constitutional concerns about the absence of our ability to be effective to cross-examine, to question we can't even question the expert's experience or CV or anything that we would normally do to determine if this should even be accepted or considered by the court. And so we strenuously object to its admission and for all those reasons to its publication as well. There's some really personal things in there that should never be published that deal with Mr. Kirk's medical condition. History is the condition of his body. It shouldn't be published, Your Honor.
Thank you. To the state.
Judge, this is clearly reliable hearsay admissible under Rule 1102 of the Utah Rules of Evidence. I would direct you specifically to subsection B5. For purposes of, and I'm quoting the rule, for purposes of criminal preliminary examinations only, reliable hearsay includes, and subsection 5 specifically states medical and autopsy reports and records. Again, that is supported by Article 1, Section 12 of the Utah Constitution, which states that reliable hearsay.
And it would be absolutely atypical for a medical examiner and medical report, regardless of the decorum and dignity we want to give to, the victims. There are autopsy photos, there are medical reports, there is sort of a clinical overview of victims or injuries. So this is not atypical, but she is correct that in a trial, the medical examiner would have to be the one to bring this in. Now, the lead detective could talk about his impressions or what was discussed with the medical examiner. So, honestly, I don't think that he would be precluded from discussing his kind of observations because in his course of work, he would be present at autopsies.
Hearsay can be relied upon at preliminary examination in whole or in part.
And to the second part in regards to publication.
As far as the publication, Judge, we agree with Ms. Nestor. This is a document that does contain very sensitive information and information that Mr. Kirk's family would appreciate it not being published. And so although we seek to admit it, we'd ask that it not be published here in the courtroom or that it be published in any fashion or way that the public can see it by virtue of the camera.
Ms. Nestor.
Your Honor, I just want to point out that even though 1102 has a provision about exams, the court still has the overarching mission under 1102 to make this reliability finding, right? And it's just completely in a vacuum being offered by someone who's a police officer. So again, we would just argue that you're just not, it's hampering you from making the analysis you need to make to admit it, and we object to it.
All right. Anything further from the parties?
No, Your Honor.
No, sir.
All right. So again, relying upon the analysis on Utah Constitution, Article 1, Section 12, as it relates to reliable hearsay, and then turning to Utah Rules of Evidence, Rule 1102, B5, specifically notes medical and autopsy reports and records. The court is going to overrule the objection and admit State's Exhibit, I believe it's 11.
11, yes, sir.
Citing to Utah Constitution, Article 1, Section 28, dignity, portion respect and dignity. It will not be published either in the courtroom or viewable on media by the camera for the reasons previously stated as it relates to the video. And so the court will receive it and it is admitted into evidence. And that concludes that portion. Mr. Sturgill, is this a good point to stop, to take our 15-minute afternoon break?
I think it'd be a great idea, Judge. I've just got one last question.
All
if I
right.
could, with respect to the medical examiner's report. Agent Hull, in that report, does the doctor relate cause and manner of death?
He does, yes.
Okay. And in that report, what is the stated cause of death
It was stated as a murder.
and manner of death?
It was a gunshot wound to the neck.
I object. It's not stated as a murder. I believe it's stated as a homicide, which is an important distinction.
Judge, I'll go back and correct that.
All right, so I'm going to sustain, well, first of all, let me look at the report. I need to see that section. I need to be able to draw my own conclusion. Okay, I see, Ms. Nestor, are you referring to page 1 of this report?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Could you repeat that? I apologize.
As it relates to your objection for the misstatements, are you looking at page 1 of the report?
Yes.
All right. So,
Your Honor, I also need to make an objection on the best evidence rule, too. Thank you.
all right. So I'm going to sustain the objection as it relates to the manner of death. It does not say murder, but in regards to the best evidence rule, again, under 1102 and the Utah Constitution that it permits reliable hearsay, it is, State's Exhibit 11 is admitted. Mr. Sturgill.
Agent Hull, I'm going to ask you to look at the first page of Exhibit 11. No?
Yes.
See that?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you again, and you can look at it.
Yeah.
And would you mind relating what the doctor reports is the manner of death,
Yes, I misspoke. It does say homicide.
and then the immediate cause of death?
Gunshot wound of the neck.
And the medical examiner will legally determine, so homicide obviously means that someone else caused or something, a not disease process caused the death. Now, murder, reckless homicide, manslaughter, those are legal terms of art. So Miss Nestor is correct here, again, sticking with pedantic. My cat likes to steal Gundam model kit pieces and Lego pieces with a fondness for Lego figurines, which my SO thoroughly enjoys and totally doesn't threaten him at all when he does. Yes, Loki, named correctly, likes to eat my wigs.
Yes, he's a wig eater. I have to stop him.
Yes, I mean, youngest most feral is currently on wig duty. I have, like I said, I bought a foam head so I could style one of my wigs to see if I could do this. And Loki thinks that it's open season for this particular wig. It is not. It is not. That is not open season. It may be pink, but it's, not there to tempt you.
Nothing further, Judge. Well, at this moment, I think it'd be a great idea to take a 15-minute break.
Right, we'll go ahead and go on break. We'll come back at 3:25 and resume with.
Come on, Lord, give me strength. We just have a little bit left of Nestor. We can do this. By the power of Gray Skull and Coke Zero.
Continuing with the direct examination of Mr. Hull by Mr. Sturgill. Mr. Sturgill, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. So, Agent Hull, in addition to what you've already described, what, if anything else, did you do on the 10th of September 2025?
Primary focus was to identify the individual who'd been seen on the roof with the preliminary footage. And so there was a big effort to review as much of the video that we had available to us from both the public, but predominantly from Utah Valley University, in an effort to follow that individual both forward and backwards from the time of the shooting.
Okay. So if I understood you correctly, priority was to identify the shooter.
Yes.
And to that end, you started reviewing even more UVU video than you've already described?
Correct, yes.
Okay. What, if anything else, either did you do or happened initially that helps you identify who that shooter was?
So there was hundreds of hours of video that was reviewed, but the predominant focus, again, was on tracking the individual from the roof, either after the shooting had occurred or trying to trace the steps of the individual prior to the shooting.
Okay.
And we were able to do that through a combined effort of individuals. And the focus was having people reviewing video identify people who could fit the original description of the individual that jumped off the roof.
Okay. At that point, so at this point, approximately how many hours of UVU video do you think you personally had seen or watched?
Myself, maybe 10 or 20 hours of video, being called in to look at different camera angles and different views of individuals. But there was a large team.
Mr. Cat would probably join Loki with the wig partaking, laughing my butt off, or ass off. He has half a brain cell. My SO jokes he lost his brain cells and gained extra toes. Oh, he's a polydactyl? Awesome. Loki just has fine taste. He and I are both connoisseurs of wigs. He's just a connoisseur in the literal sense, whereas I'm more the aesthetic sense. It also bites him in the behind, quite literally, because I tend to get long wigs, and they tend to get stuck, and we have one of those automatic litter machines. So there have been times where I've had to yank a synthetic hair out and then Purell myself to within an inch of my life. But yes, he never learns his lessons. He never ever learns his lesson.
Of people reviewing video.
Reviewing video?
Yeah, from the VU.
Or some of them SBI agents?
Yes, correct.
And combined, how much video do you think you watched that first day on the 10th?
It would be in the tens or hundreds of hours of video was reviewed.
Okay. Did anything else come along that helped you identify who that shooter might be?
Eventually on the evening of the
much,
11th,
JKD Bob.
we received word from
The judge did see the other footage. He did have a kind of noticeable pushback reaction, but we didn't get to hear the audio. And for the most part, he did a pretty good job of trying to keep a poker face. Objections, but very along the similar line of the person isn't here, the faces aren't bleeped out or blurred out. So none of the footage today has been shown to anyone but the judge, and it hasn't been let out for publication.
Washington County that an individual in that area had reached out to law enforcement and was wanting to turn themselves in for the incident at UVU.
Okay. Yeah, did you, at that point in time, did you receive a name from Washington County?
Yes, we did.
And what was that name?
Tyler Robinson.
What, if anything, did you do with that information, the name Tyler Robinson?
That information was given to our SIAC, or our State Information and Analysis Group, and they put together what we call a workup. So they would look at driver's license records, DMV records to determine addresses, obtain pictures of individuals, and then any associated vehicles or things like that.
So was that done with Mr. Robinson?
It was, yes.
Driver's license record was pulled?
Yes.
Did that include, if you remember, or do you know, did that include a photograph of Mr. Robinson?
It did include a photograph of Mr. Robinson, yes.
How about an address and date of birth?
There was an address and a date of birth, and I believe a DMV record with an associated vehicle.
All right. So that DMV record did include a vehicle that was associated with Mr. Robinson?
Correct.
Okay. Do you remember what the make and model of the vehicle was that was tied to Mr. Robinson?
The Dodge Challenger.
Anything else beyond that you remember?
It was silver in color, and I believe there were two registered owners of the vehicle.
Okay. And who were the registered owners?
Mr. Robinson and then his mother.
Do you recall whether or not a date of birth was included in that driver's license information that you got initially?
Yeah, I believe the actual driver's license record was shared, so it would have included a date of birth.
All right. With with Tyler Robinson's personal information, were you able to expand your search at all?
Yes, once we knew a vehicle that we were looking for and we had an actual image of the individual, then we were able to use that video footage to try and track that specific individual.
Okay, and I'm sorry, let me clarify. So when I said expand your search, I'm referencing the UVU surveillance video.
Yes, we were able to.
Okay. And were you able to identify in that expanded search, did you believe you located that Challenger?
We did, yes.
Okay. Were you able to determine
Good idea.
at what time or times Mr.
You can use citrus, lemon, or eucalyptus essential oils on your wigs. That's a good idea. I need to do a good washing day. I have tons of wigs that need to be washed and dried and styled, and some wigs that Loki and myself have destroyed. We need to do a full wig cleanse out, which is a sentence that is fabulous to say. Dolly Parton, if you should ever want to get rid of any of your wigs, my P.O. box is on the website. I will take any cast-offs of any decade.
Dolly Parton when you give you crap.
Young man, Dolly Parton may give me something.
Robinson visited the UVU campus on September 10th?
Yeah, we were able to establish that Mr. Robinson had been on campus approximately 4 times throughout the day, twice before the shooting, the time of the shooting, and then after the shooting later in the evening into the early hours of the 11th.
Now, I think that this was something that really did come out in this hearing. The amount of times that Tyler Robinson was kind of, do not use the whisk. Do not use the whisk on the cat. Yes, these are things that I have to say out loud. Those are my prescription glasses. Stop putting them on the cat. And he wonders why the cats are kind of terrified of him.
You said that you initially tracked the shooter forward and backward
Yes.
with UVU surveillance video.
Correct.
Okay. Did you do the same thing with that vehicle?
We did, yes.
Okay. Tracked it forward and backward?
Yes, using the UVU footage and additional information that was obtained, yes.
And I believe you said that in total, Mr. Robinson visited the UVU campus 4 times that day.
Yes, that's correct.
And let's just be clear, that's all based on UVU surveillance video. Is that fair to say?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Have you reviewed what's been marked State's Exhibit 12.1 for identification?
I have, yes.
Okay. And well, before we go there, of the video.
Anima Rumpier, is Dolly like a leprechaun? Do you have to catch her to get her treasures? Does anyone have a booby trap they're not using? No, and we must protect Dolly Parton. Like I said, I have often posited that Cher will survive like the cockroaches and Twinkies and repopulate the world, but Dolly Parton hasn't gone full Borg, so we must protect her with all seriousness.
That you have personally watched, does the video include the 10th and the 11th, or just the 10th?
The video I've seen includes the 10th and then a very small
And
portion, I
thank you
think,
for the
about
idea,
0:30 of the
because I
11th.
will definitely
And I think you said initially you
check
watched
that
about
out
20 hours of video.
and do
Yes.
that.
Since that time, have you watched additional video?
Yes.
UVU surveillance video?
Yes.
Okay. And who provided the UVU surveillance video to you?
It was part of the collection of videos that was provided by Mr. Olson and his team that we already discussed previously.
Okay. Of all the hours of video that you've watched, do you have an idea of how many hours include Mr. Robinson or his vehicle?
Just with UVU or in
Just with
total?
UVU, I'm sorry.
Just with UVU would probably be about 16 hours.
And let's be clear, this is someone you believe to be Tyler Robinson.
Correct.
Okay. And this person that you've identified as Tyler Robinson, that you've been investigating and that you've viewed in the numerous hours of video from UVU, would you recognize that person if you were in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Is he in the courtroom today?
he is, yes.
Would you point him out and describe something that he's wearing?
Your Honor, we object to unduly suggestive in-court identification for constitutional grounds.
Do you wish to specify an unduly constitutional? I'm trying to understand your objections. I want to make sure I fully understand.
Your Honor, I think there's some, and I'll defer to Mr. Byrd if he wants to jump in, but I believe there's a long line of case law that says, and you ask someone to identify the defendant when they're the only person, sitting at the table with defense counsel, that's unduly suggestive and taints any future or past, well, definitely future identification. So we object to that happening in this fashion at this time.
Mr. Sturgill.
Well, Judge, Agent Hull has testified that he has watched numerous hours of video.
Yeah.
Take a step back. He has looked at personal identifying information of an individual by the name of Tyler Robinson. He's looked at the driver's license record, and he's also looked at the DMV records and has been able to determine what car that person drives. He's also looked at surveillance video that he believes depicts this Tyler Robinson. And I've simply asked him if that person that he has seen, both in driver's license photos and the surveillance video, if that person is here in the courtroom today. And I don't know that that's unduly prejudicial or suggestive. It's the routine. I don't know of any other way to do it other than the way I just did it, Judge.
All right, well, I wanted to verify the format of the question. I remembered it in my mind, but to Ms. Nestor, was that an accurate portrayal of the question that was asked?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Sturgill, anything further before I issue my ruling?
Well, no, other than, Judge, I believe it's worth noting that Mr. Robinson is in plain clothes. Well,
Yeah.
he's in
Counsel,
plain
please approach
clothes.
the bench.
Loki, I don't know. He's just a barn cat, but he's fluffy. So he's a lot smaller than he looks.
All right. Based off of what's been presented in court, I'm not finding that particular question as previously posed as suggestive. I find for the purposes of this hearing only that in-court identification by Agent Hull of Mr. Robinson has been made. Again, this only relates to the preliminary hearing, and you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Agent Hull, have you reviewed what's been marked State's Exhibit 12.1 for identification?
I have, yes.
And where did you review that video?
It was provided to me. I reviewed it on my computer in my office.
Okay. And is that the first time that you've seen this particular video footage?
This particular version of the footage, yes.
Okay. So this particular version the first time, have you seen the video that comprises, I guess, Exhibit 12.1.
I have seen the original videos, if that's your question, yes.
So what states Exhibit 12.1? How would you describe it?
I would describe it as a compilation of the video that we obtained from Utah Valley University during the course of the investigation that depicts the movements of the individual I believe to be Mr. Robinson moving around the campus on September 10th, 2025 into the morning of September 11th, 2025.
Did you prepare this video compilation?
I did not.
Okay. Do you know who did?
Yes, Utah County Attorney's Office. I believe Ms. Durfler is the one that produced the video.
Okay. Do you know Ms. Durfler's first name?
Kimberly?
Okay. What, if anything, did you do to authenticate the video in this compilation?
I reviewed the video to make sure that it was a reflection of what I understood the original videos to show.
Okay. What, if anything else, did you do?
I reviewed it. I know that there were some zooms and some changes to the footage.
Okay. Did you meet with Mr. Olson with regards to this particular video?
Yes, this video was also part of that original meeting with Mr. Olson for the prior exhibit, yes.
Okay. So at the same time, you sat down with Mr. Olson and discussed the prior exhibit. And let's just be clear which exhibit that is. So I believe the 1102 statement that you gathered from him is Exhibit 12.3, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So at the same time that you gathered that 12.3, or that written statement that states Exhibit 12.3, you talked to him about this specific exhibit as well?
Yes, Mr. Olson was shown this exhibit.
Okay. And did he include that in that 1102 statement?
Yeah, I believe he specifically referenced the exhibit by name, stating that it was a true reflection of the footage from the campus.
Okay. And let's just go back to what you were stating earlier. To you, it appears to be a compilation of videos that you've already seen.
Correct.
That you received as a mass dump, I guess, for lack of a better term, of UV video. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And the Exhibit 12.1, does it appear to be the same as the raw video that you've seen previously?
It does, yes.
Okay. Are there some minor, are there any added additions or anything different about this particular exhibit?
There are some portions of the video where a zoom is initiated, which wasn't a function of the cameras. I believe some specific individuals have been blurred from the footage, and I believe there are some red circles to show poignant information or individuals within the footage itself.
Okay. So other than the red circles, the blur, and the zoom, does it appear to accurately depict what you've seen in the raw video footage?
I believe so, yes.
Now, it will be interesting if the defense brings on an expert with any of these additions or edits to the video footage. I could see that there would be grounds to bring an expert in to make sure that, look, I'm not a technological person. I suck out loud at tech. But there could be ways, you know, we've seen in Canton with the interpolator, or the inverting. Oh, thank you, Ronnie. I got this one from a fan. Be kind of a B word. But I kind of hoped, I guess, optimistically and, a bit optimistically, that because I already have a CRPS, which is dysautonomic, I was hoping I wasn't going to get hot flashes associated with perimenopause, but apparently, no, I am going to get those hot flashes too. I also decided to put a wig on when it's 948,000 degrees out. So, and I have 973 pounds of hair. So the odds are not in my favor, but yes, I now have two. Mr. Mo is so embarrassed, but I bought this during Prime Day.
Absolutely do not care.
Thank you, youngest most feral. And then a fan bought me one of these, and I was like, this is the most amazing thing ever. They are on Amazon. They're about $20 each. They have less appropriate, they have much more inappropriate things. I was looking for a see you next Tuesday fan, because it's kind of my favorite curse word, but I know YouTube doesn't like us saying it, so I was trying to find a fan.
Isn't there YouTubers that say cuss words every 2,000 milliseconds?
Well, yes, but I'm trying not to be that channel.
Da, 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 da.
On your screen, I'm going to have displayed an image. Let me know when you see it.
The image is there now. Oh, it's gone again.
Is it there?
We're back, yeah.
Okay, we're back. So do you recognize what this is?
Yeah, this is the first frame of the video compilation that we just referenced.
Okay. And again, this video portrays what you believe is Mr. Robinson visiting campus that day?
Correct.
Okay, and is it throughout the day?
It is, yes.
And I believe you said into the early morning hours of the 11th, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, you can personalize them, but don't give me any. Look, I do not need any more props. I really don't. Now, don't hold me to that next time I get really tired and want to buy all the things. But for the moment, I do not need any props. Do I want props? Yes. But look, I have my comfy chair and we can hang out, and I'm feeling good enough to do longer streams, which a couple weeks ago, that really was in question. So I am not complaining.
Just the state would move to admit what's been marked State's Exhibit 12.1.
Ms. Nestor?
Your Honor, we have objections to its admissibility. This is a compilation video that was put together from a bunch of different sources by the county attorney.
It's a montage, when you need to train in a hurry and you don't have a lot of time. Montage.
Attorney's office. This individual did not create this compilation, can't testify to the accuracy of the actual materials that it was taken from. And furthermore, Mr. Olson himself is just referred to by Agent Hall. He specifically says people have altered these recordings. They've zoomed in when the actual recording isn't zoomed. They've added little circles to people they want you to pay attention to. They've blurred people's faces out. So, I mean, it's been clearly altered. And it's not, I mean, they admit it's been altered. So we have a real concern about authenticity of it. Furthermore, this particular video should be protected. And so that deals with the admissibility factor. As far as the publication factor of it, the video should be classified as protected under UCJA 202. 4-202.02 subsection 5, J is in jelly bean, and then little I and little double I, because this is going to interfere with the defense's ongoing investigation, with Mr. with Mr. Robinson's ability to get a fair trial.
I mean, she said J is in jelly bean. I would have said gigolo, which would probably not have been good, because I think gigolo is spelled with a G, although it could have been a J. I motioned that gigolo could be spelled with J or a G.
This is basically putting together photos that are clear with photos that aren't clear, putting them all together in such a format that it makes the case that it's all one person. It would be extremely prejudicial for people that may ultimately serve on this jury to watch this video before this case goes to trial. We don't believe a proper foundation's been laid, which would make it admissible at this point. So the fact that it would be shown to the public would be extremely damaging to the ability to put on a defense at trial. And so we object to its publication both in the courtroom and to the media, Your Honor.
Mr. Sturgill.
Ms. Nestor is correct. This is a compilation of a series of videos. The videos, as Sergeant Hull has testified to, is a compilation of raw videos that he has received from Utah Valley University. And he has not only seen this video, but he has seen all the raw footage. And by his estimation, or according to his testimony, these are all videos that are accurate and they depict what the raw footage depicts, other than those minor additions. Judge, if you refer to Mr. Olson's written statement, it's Plaintiff's Exhibit 12.3. He too has reviewed this video, and he has also identified this video as being accurate with the exception of those additions. In his words, it's the zooms and the red highlights. They weren't part of the original recording, according to Mr. Olson. But other than that, as he states, the same as Agent Hull, these videos are accurate, and they were captured by UVU surveillance video.
Speak of the devil, and ye shall appear. You just want me for
Do you have a
wig.
version of this video that does not have alterations, such as zooming or circling? My concern is that if the 1102 says what it says about the videos, these were the videos.
Right.
But then it was altered. And typically an exhibit which has been altered, and if it wasn't done by the person who supplied the 1102, that can become problematic. And so do you have a version of this exhibit that does not have the zooming in or the circling? Again, I don't know all the alterations that were made, but that seems to fall outside the 1102 because you don't have a person testifying 1102 saying, I made the alterations. Right. And so that's the concern of the state of what Ms. Nestor was talking about as it relates to the state's evidence. I have that concern about those alterations. I don't know when they were made, what they were made, how much was done to manipulate the video. And I say manipulate to, not saying it in a nefarious way, but I don't know what the scope of that is and how much
Allegations
it deviates
of
from what was the original form.
shenanigans.
Well, Judge, to answer your first question, do we have a version of this particular video that has not been altered? We don't, not right now.
You are the first to see it. I do have legs. I am not a torso. I am not a torso. Mark this on your calendar. I do have legs.
Not today. I guess there's there's a couple of things I'd simply like to point out, Judge, and that is that we have two witnesses who have watched the raw footage. And Agent Holt here today on the stand and Mr. Olson in the form of his written statement, they have both said that this video, with the exception of these alterations, accurately depicts the video that was captured by UVU surveillance video. Judge, I will proffer that those changes made to the video were not done by either. I know who that person is. We could actually call that person as a witness if that would cure that. And we're prepared to do that if necessary. But Judge, I think that our burden is to simply authenticate, what this is. And it is a video that, with only a few exceptions, alterations, that really don't change the substance of the video or the content of the video. They're accurate. They depict what the cameras captured on September 10th and the 11th. And we have two people who have seen that raw footage, and they've explained that's the only difference between what we have originally in the original videos and what you're seeing here today. And the additions, I'll submit, Judge, were only added to make it easier to view.
All right. Anything further from the parties? All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm sustaining the objection. Typically, when exhibits are admitted to the court, it is without alteration. If a party circles an exhibit, a photograph, that's not the original format, and I do not have the person who made the alteration, an 1102, to substantiate that. And what I have is the original video, and Mr. Olson saying, this is the video minus the alterations. And we have Agent Hull saying, this is the video, and there are alterations, but I'm missing a link, and it may be minor. But in this type of case, I want to be thorough, and I want to make sure that what is minor is still.
And I absolutely appreciate this. I know it sounds pedantic. I know this is T-crossing and it kind of gets into the weeds. But in order for this to be a one and done trial without years and years more of appeals, all of this has to be done. And I'm glad that this judge is, detail oriented and catching these small things.
Still important, and for those reasons, I'm going to sustain the objection and leave it to the parties on how you wish to handle the video. In the future, I don't want to provide guidance either way.
Right.
But as it stands today, this exhibit, States Exhibits 12.1, is not admitted.
Okay, Judge, could I have just one moment?
You may.
Do 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 do. Do, 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 do.
Agent Hull, you testified that there were 4 visits to campus that day.
Correct, yes.
And the first 3 visits, based on what you have observed, is your opinion that those videos were captured by UVU surveillance video? Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. The 4th visit, the 4th visit too was captured by UV surveillance video. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was there any other video that was collected either on the 10th or the 11th that you believe might be important or relevant to today's hearing?
There was a large amount of video.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit more specific. Was there, other than UVU surveillance video, was there any other video that you collected and subsequently gathered an 1102 statement for?
Yes, we collected Ring doorbell footage from the surrounding neighborhoods.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did that include video from a residence located at 680 West, 925 South Orem?
Yes, that's in the Horseshoe area, yep.
Okay. That's in Orem?
Correct.
And close to campus?
It is, yes.
Okay. And what can you tell us about that video?
There was a Ring doorbell video that was provided that showed a vehicle consistent with the one we had identified as belonging to Mr. Robinson, parking in front of the residence across the street.
Okay. And what can you tell us about the timing and the timing of that parked vehicle?
If I recall, that vehicle parked approximately 0:38 hours on the morning of the 11th.
Okay. So 0:38 hours. What time is that to regular people?
Just after midnight.
At 12:38 a.m.?
In the morning, yes.
Okay. So how did this video come to your attention that you're talking about, this doorbell or whatever?
Thank you.
This footage was obtained as
Let
part
me
of the
pull
canvas
that
of the
up.
area that was conducted as part of the investigation.
The one
Were you able to
time I
identify
didn't
the
pull
owners
it.
of that residence,
Yes,
where that video was collected from?
correct.
Okay. And do you know who it was collected from and by whom?
was
thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Noble. I believe Agent Davis collected the video directly from them.
For
And
no,
do you know
I
what
can't
date
pull it
it was
up.
collected?
For some reason,
If I can refresh from my notes.
If referring to your notes will refresh your memory, go ahead and look at that. Don't read it out loud.
Thank you so much for the $5, and it says, "See you next trial props" for that. Thank you so much.
I don't have the specific date, but I do know that myself and Agent Davis returned to the address as we had done with previous videos and had the owners of the video verify that it was from their system. And we did have them complete an 1102 statement, which would be dated.
Okay. Do you know, so let's talk about this. What does this video look like?
It's a nighttime view looking from the front porch of the residence across the street.
Okay. And what about that video? Why was this particular video significant to you, or why do you think it was related to this case?
We know from the UVU footage that the person we believe to be Mr. Robinson had an interaction with law enforcement. And a short period after that, the vehicle comes to that house, and some additional evidence that was collected from cell phone data and things indicated that Mr. Robinson was in the area, and we were able to locate the footage of his vehicle on that Ring doorbell camera.
Or at least what you believe is his vehicle.
The vehicle we believe to belong to Mr. Robinson, yes.
And is there something about this particular video and this I guess vehicle that was captured that leads you to believe that it was Mr. Robinson's vehicle?
Yeah, the vehicle has very distinct wheels. I won't say that they're wholly unique, but in terms of the video,
And this does kind of go against this whole there was a grand conspiracy because he's driving a very distinct car. It does kind of go to the sort of act of passion or this not being as thought out. I mean, there are a lot. That's what's kind of contradictory about this. There are things like the etching of certain things that will be talked about in Lance Twig's video statement, like, engraving things on the bullets. But then you also have this kind of absolute obliviousness to the fact that you have a very distinctive car with distinctive rims, that you are at the scene of the crime multiple times. I think it will come out in testimony that he interacted with TPUSA or Turning Point USA, if not like Charlie Kirk himself, then employees. I don't think he actually interacted with Charlie Kirk himself, but at least employees asking, time of arrival, maybe, or things of that general nature. So again, he took steps to conceal certain things, but then was oblivious to other things. So that is what kind of makes it so incredibly odd to put together.
video footage that we were reviewing, the wheels on the vehicle are fairly unique and stand out on the video footage.
So again, this is video that you received early on in the investigation.
Yes,
And then in preparation for the preliminary hearing, you went back out and you met with someone about this video.
correct.
Who specifically did you meet with about this video?
Met with Mrs. Noble.
And what did you do with Miss Noble?
We did what we'd done before. We had a specific file that we wanted, or files that we wanted her to verify. The footage itself is broken into, I believe, 10-second segments. So we had specific files that we had her view and confirm that they were actually from her system. Those were written on the 1102 as they have been before.
Okay, and who wrote those file names on this particular statement?
I believe it would be my handwriting on the 1102.
All right. What did you do next?
We had her view the videos and then complete a statement verifying the authenticity of those videos on the 1102.
Okay. Was this also prepared on a State Bureau form?
I believe this was on a State Bureau Investigations form, yes.
And in this particular form on which Ms. Noble provided her statement, does it have the advisory that it would be used in lieu of her testimony here today?
It does, yes.
Does it also contain a warning that if she gave a false statement, she would be
Oh,
punished,
we're just not gonna
it's
show our
punishable by
face.
Class A misdemeanor?
Correct.
All right.
I'm gonna have displayed on your monitor what's been marked State's Exhibit number 13 for identification. Let me know when you see that, would you?
I can see that.
No,
Okay, I'm gonna
I see
have
it,
my assistant scroll through that slowly.
to keep you from temptation, sir.
Okay. Do you recognize that?
I do, yes.
What is that?
It's the 1102 that myself and Agent Davis collected from Ms. Noble.
Okay. And does it appear to be in the same condition as when you collected it?
It does, yes.
This is a copy, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the personal identifying information appears to be redacted, is that right?
It has been redacted, yes.
Okay. It wasn't redacted when you collected it, right?
No, the original form was not redacted.
So other than the redactions, it appears to be in the same conditions it was when you collected it.
That is correct.
State would move to admit Exhibit 13.
Ms. Nestor.
Your Honor, we renew our concern about unconstitutional hearsay being admitted. We also have the same concerns about the fact that Agent Hull amended this himself, and there's no foundation as to when he filled that in, if it was before or after she signed it. And due to all those reasons, we object to its admission. And object with publication as well.
Mr. Sturgill.
Judge, again, it was collected in compliance with Rule 1102 of the Utah Rules of Evidence, specifically subsection B8. It's in writing. It's on a form. It includes both the advisory and warning. And it was collected by Agent Hull. It's also collected in compliance and being introduced as reliable hearsay, which is lawful to do here in Utah under the state constitution, Article 1, Section 12.
Do you wish to lay more foundation about when the statement was written, whether it was before it was signed or not?
I can do that, Judge. I appreciate that, yes. Agent Hull, do you recall when you collected this written statement from Ms. Noble?
Yes, it was in April.
In April, do you know what day?
April 6th, I believe.
Okay. And you collected it, did you go to her home? I think, is that what you said?
Yes, myself and Agent Davis went to the residence.
Okay. And did you sit there while she prepared it?
I did, yes.
And did you witness her sign it?
I did, yes.
Okay. At this point, I'd move to admit Exhibit 13.
All right, and to the state representative, could you scroll down? Okay. All right, pursuant to the Utah Rule of Evidence 1102 and Article 1, Section 28, Article 1, Section 12, which allows for a reliable hearsay, I'm going to move it into, it's going to be admitted into evidence over the objection
Loki, what did you
of
get into?
defense. I note in particular that it states that I confirm that the above files were taken from our Nest doorbell videos and are accurate.
No, he tooted.
And right before that
Don't
statement
look at
is
me.
the
You
notations that
befouled
were
the
allegedly
area.
made by Agent Hull. And so for those reasons, court finds proper foundation has been laid and that this exhibit in its entirety is
No more whole milk for you.
admitted into evidence. As it relates to publication, I will authorize publication in the courtroom and by the media if they so wish to capture it in that form. Again, following the same
Silent
format,
and deadly
have it on that first
Loki
portion of the
face.
screen for about 10 seconds and then scroll down to the written portion for about 15 seconds and then scroll to the very bottom to ensure that the full
We believe in naming and shaming to correct behavior. As you can tell, he is astoundingly embarrassed by his flatulence. He can barely deal with himself. He is not content to have nearly gassed me out. Welcome, Baker Raiders. Welcome, welcome. We are at the tail end of day one, kind of going through the particulars of videographic evidence that was collected by different people. The gentleman on the stand is going to be the lead investigator. Miss Kathy Nestor is dealing with my patients, and Loki the cat just got shamed for tooting silent but deadly and nearly unaliving me with his funk. So,
Not unalive you.
uh,
Fixing your sin card for not looking disgusting.
so that's kind of where we are. Welcome. Hope you enjoy this tail end of day one speed run of the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing.
exhibit has been displayed. All right, that concludes the publication of State's Exhibit 13.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. The video that you took with you that day when you visited with Noble, or Miss Noble, had you previously, well, you've stated that the videos that you showed, the Nobles, were actually more than one video.
Correct.
Okay, and I believe you said they were like 10-second clips,
If I recall correctly.
short
yes.
clips. Okay. And you showed Miss Noble all of those videos that are identified in that statement.
The one shown on the statement was shown to Ms. Noble, yes.
Okay. Have you had a chance to review what's been marked State's Exhibit number 12.2?
Yes.
Okay, and when did you have a chance to review that exhibit?
I believe that was reviewed last week, I believe.
Okay.
With yourself.
Okay. And does that video, is it a single video that you watched?
No, I believe it's 4 separate short videos.
Okay. And as far as, and I understand that, but as far as 12.2 is concerned, what does that exhibit consist of?
It shows the vehicle believed to be driven by Mr. Robinson arriving in front of the residence, an individual exiting the vehicle and moving away from it, followed by an individual returning to the vehicle and unlocking it, and then it shows the vehicle a short time later starting and leaving the area.
And those are the videos that you showed Miss Noble?
Yes.
Okay. What I have displayed on your monitor what's been marked Plaintiff's or State's Exhibit 12.2 for identification.
And welcome again, Baker Raiders. We are at the tail end of day one in the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing. Kathy Nestor is testing my patience. It doesn't look like we're going to get to cross-examination of this particular witness today. It does look like we're going to be going into tomorrow when we cover this. So that'll be interesting. This particular witness is the lead investigator for the state. So he is kind of bringing in a lot of different pieces of evidence. Now, because this is in lieu of a grand jury hearing, it is a little bit unique in that normally, the public wouldn't be invited to this. And the defense would also not have a part in it. So it is interesting to see. So there are certain things that the media will be allowed and not allowed to cover. And we will not get the ruling on this until September. I have puppets, I have craziness, I have a husband who is working on demolition in the kitchen, and apparently, all right, because ADHD runs in the family, youngest, most feral, finished my Zen garden and Christmas miracle or midsummer miracle. I am not simply a torso. I do have legs. Just in case you were wondering, if the bet or the over the under was out there, I do have legs. You heard it here first.
Let me know as soon as you see, should be a still image.
It's there.
Do you recognize what's depicted there?
Yeah, this is the view looking what would essentially be west across the street from the Noble's residence.
Okay. At 12:38 a.m., I guess, or 0:38?
Yes.
Okay. And what is depicted in this? I think you've already described that. So, Judge, I would move to admit Exhibit 12.2.
Ms. Nestor.
Your Honor, we renew our objection to allowing in the evidence without the sponsoring witness. I do have some concerns because I'm not totally sure if this is a compilation or if this is just one of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 videos they took from the Nobles. So if we could have that clarification, I think that concerns me about authenticity, that I don't understand if this is just a portion or if this is the whole thing or is this is all of them or none of them. And for those reasons, we object to the admission and to publication.
Thank you. Mr. Sturgill.
That's a good point. And I'll ask additional questions before I seek to admit it. Agent Hull, this particular video, you've described taking several videos to Ms. Noble and having her review them.
Yes.
Okay. This particular exhibit, 12.2, have you watched it in its entirety?
Yes.
Does it consist of either some or all of those videos that you showed Ms. Noble?
It does, yes.
Okay. And is it a single video? Is it a compilation, that is to say, or is it 4 different videos? Or a number of different videos?
Be a number of short videos sequenced.
Okay. A number of short videos in sequence?
I believe that's how this one plays, yes.
Okay. Just again, I seek to admit it.
Anything further from the parties?
Absolutely no worries, Monty Sunshine. Can't do it. Sorry, guys. I just need the recaps for the preliminary trial. No worries. I totally understand. And I am covering it a week late, so you've probably already heard, breakdown upon breakdown. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me to hear, my puppet and ADHD, hot takes.
All right. Given my previous rulings on exhibits, I apply the same analysis and find that State's Exhibit 12.2, I believe, is admitted over the objection and may be published in the courtroom and by the media, if so chosen.
Okay, so before we play this video, again, what is it that leads you to believe that this is Mr. Robinson's vehicle?
The shape of the vehicle can be clearly seen as it pulls up, and the distinctive wheels on the vehicle also.
And well, let's go ahead and play it.
Is there any sound associated with this?
There is, Judge, but it's night sounds. It's crickets chirping and.
Okay, I just wanted to see if there was. I just wanted to see if there was.
In addition to the voices in my head, we have a co-host along with the youngest, most feral. It is Maudie, the moron sandwich, aka the idiot sandwich. Honestly, I needed something to distract me from Nestor. Now, I will say one positive thing about Miss Nestor, and I did notice, because I noticed these things, it looks like she's lost a good deal of weight. And as a person who's been all shades of fluffy to, well, I've never been skinny, but I've been all shades of fluffy to semi-fluffy to semi-deflated. you know, that's not easy. And so I commend her for that. And she didn't look like she slaughtered any couches, just a throw pillow today.
Sound or not? Okay. All right. You may play the video.
Now, I'm not great with spatial awareness or kind of locations of things. Ask anyone who's traveled with me. But from what I understand, there is an area around the campus or very close to campus that is a sort of horseshoe configuration. So I believe what this is depicting is a point at which allegedly Tyler Robinson's charger went around this horseshoe to surveil the area around. Good idea. I do need to use that. See, this is why I love chat. We are creatively genius. We are a legion of geniusi. Geniuses? Geniuses? I don't know. Grammar was never my strong suit.
So in the first part of that video, what do you see?
The vehicle we believe to be driven by Mr. Robinson pulling up and parking in front of across the street, but in front of the residence.
Okay. And then in the next video, what do you believe is displayed in that video?
There's an individual who gets out of the vehicle. You can hear the door close, and then that individual moves away from the front of the vehicle. There's actually two reflective panels on a dumpster, and you can see the individual past those reflective panels.
And in the last of those series of videos?
The second to last one, the individual comes back across those reflective panels to the vehicle, unlocks the vehicle, and gets into it. And then in the last video, the vehicle is started and the individual drives away.
Just one moment, Judge.
Yes.
And I think we are coming towards the end of the day. Now, some of the things that I have gathered from other people who are in the courtroom is that given the angle of the camera and the way they had to set things up to make sure that certain, exhibits weren't placed on or to the public and not, the courtroom is much smaller than it appears. We're kind of cattywampus. So some of the people and some of the commentators, and I'm talking about Officer Tatum and I believe Benny Johnson, talked about the kind of surrealness of being so close to the person who allegedly took their friend's life. What I will say observationally from just this first day and sort of topical looking at the hearing kind of in snippets, I think that this judge is going to be very good. I think the state and even Miss Nestor, to an annoying point, are doing their best to make sure that every dot is, I is dotted and T is crossed. So while it might be annoying and irritating and, ad nauseum for us, I do like that they are taking care to make sure that this won't be a trial that goes into appellate hell. And when we get a verdict, it won't be hung up in a bunch of different, easy and stupid errors like the Letitia Stalk trial. So it looks like we are...
And come back at, roughly 4:30. So court is in recess.
Let's see. Oh, okay. They do give us a little snippet with the attorneys.
You testified about all the video that you've watched. Agent, sure.
You may proceed with your questions.
Okay.
We'll take it from there.
All right. Agent Hole, I asked you earlier, after you had testified about all the video that you've watched, and video that you believe depicts Mr. Robinson from the UV surveillance, and that combined with the driver's license and the DMV records, whether or not you believe that that person that you have seen in the video and on the driver's license record is in the courtroom today. And I believe
Ronan, it is a real thing, and I get so self-conscious saying clip that out loud, because it's not something, it's just the way I perceive it, but to me it sounds like I'm putting on airs like, clip that, tell my assistant, have my people talk to your people. And it's so outside of my kind of humble brag, self-deprecating self that I just can't quite get used to it. But, you know, and I'll give a compliment to Jess Machado. She is very good at, you know, clipping things and promoting the heck out of herself.
your answer was yes.
Yes, that's correct.
And then I asked you if you wouldn't mind pointing him out, describing something that he's wearing. And I don't believe that I allowed you to do that.
Okay.
Would you do that right now?
Your Honor, just for the record, we would impose an objection based on the 14th Amendment for due process due to an unduly suggestive in-court ID. Also, we believe there's a lack of foundation establishing his ability to interpret the surveillance video. And based on that, we would object.
All right. I note that, well, to the state, do you wish to be heard on what was just stated?
Well, Judge, I think we had this discussion, and I think you ruled on that specific objection. And then after you ruled, I just neglected to come back and follow through with the question and the answer. That's my recollection of the bench meeting.
All right. I believe I stated for the purposes of this hearing that identification by Agent Hull of Mr. Robinson was made. I could be wrong, but
Well, and I just wanted to clarify that, Judge, because there was some question about whether that in fact did happen. And so if that's your recollection of what happened, and if you're willing to put on the record that Agent Hull has identified the defendant, I think we're done.
does the defense want to be heard?
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Of course.
No, Your Honor.
Well, if for the benefit of the record and for thoroughness, if you wish to re-ask that question, you certainly, well, we can see what happens.
If I could, Judge, I'd like to.
No.
Would you
no,
please
hold.
point him out and identify something that he's wearing?
Why did you have scissors? Why were you near your hair? And why were you looking in a Look at me dead on, young man. It's not funny. You look like a goofus now. You are 10 daggone years old. You should not be cutting your own hair. Oh my God, Pink Floyd, as long as he doesn't go for the eyebrows.
Yeah, I believe that Mr. Robinson is between Ms. Nestor and other counsel wearing a grey suit jacket with a dark tie and a light-coloured shirt.
Which I would ask that the record reflect that Agent Hull has identified the defendant.
I mean, I made my objection already.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
No, thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
For the purposes of this hearing, I find that Agent Hull has identified Mr. Robinson. Again, this is only for the preliminary hearing. You may proceed.
Look, Ronan, parenting doesn't come with a rule book. And, you know, before I had children, I had this high, lofty idea that I would never say because I told you so, because that always annoyed me as a kid. I always would have a logical reason so children could understand because, you know, I figured half the fights with children is because there wasn't a reason given for why you were told to do something. And then I had children, and I realized that you are fielding 973 questions from the time you wake up to the time you've gone to sleep. Like, why do elephants have trunks? Well, why do you know? Well, why do you think God gave them? I don't know. I don't know God's mind. Well, why don't you know? I don't know. Well, is it in the Bible? I have no idea. We'll go look. It says nothing about the trunks in the Bible. And on and on and on, from everything to ketchup to blue plates to why, you know, this Barbie doll is the best. You suddenly get overwhelmed, and this thing is, it just, and you just say things in self-defense, like, because I said so. Because you physically cannot answer one more question. It's like being with the most persistent, defense attorney ever.
Judge, I think for today, with Agent Hull, we're done for today. We'd ask that at this point we take a break until tomorrow.
All right, so are you saying that you're going to recall Agent, well, we're going to
let me-
resume with Mr. Hall tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning, and let me explain and I was going to explain this, but let me explain why. Judge, our intent is to prepare an original version of the video that has been in dispute today, without the circles, without the blur, and without the zooming in. And our intent is to introduce that tomorrow as a different exhibit. And we just can't prepare that in the next hour or so. So we're going to need this evening to prepare that exhibit. And we'd like to return with that. Judge, what I would also suggest, well, let me get your take on that, Judge.
All right, does the defense wish to be heard about ending for the day? We have about 19 minutes until 5 o'clock. What is the defense?
Your Honor, we're happy to accommodate the state on that.
All right. So for today, Agent Hall, you may step down, and we'll resume with your testimony tomorrow morning. Anything further, Mr. Sturgill?
Well, there's just one other thing, and it's a suggestion.
Agent Hall, can you wait just 1 second? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sure Ms. Nestor may have a position with regards to this, but Judge, we would
No, Nestor, let him go. He will be back for your questioning torture tomorrow. Let him go. She will not let him. Let him go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me. Oh, Lord, I'm Bohemian Rhapsodying.
invite you to review the exhibit that we've been talking about today. It is 12.1. We suggest that you look at it between today and tomorrow, because our intent is to seek to admit the version where it doesn't have the circle or the blur or the zoom in, and if that is admitted, we do intend to introduce that exhibit 12.1 as well. And I think it would be helpful if you saw that in advance, and you can compare that to the version that doesn't have the circle, the blur, and the zooming in. I would ask that you do that. I don't know if Ms. Nestor has a different opinion about that, but I think it would be helpful in determining whether or not that particular exhibit, 12.1, is admissible.
Ms. Nestor.
I don't have anything to add to that. I defer to what the court prefers to do on that. I do have another matter before Agent Hall is released that I do want to address with the court, but I don't have any concern if the court wants to look at it in advance. It's kind of a little bit of a long video. I think it's just about 5 minutes, maybe. It's not very long. So if you want to wait until tomorrow, it's not going to slow the matter down very much, but it's up to the court on that.
All right, I appreciate the parties. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until it's properly before me and a motion has been made for either of the videos, and then I'm happy to entertain the motion to review both of them, or however the parties. I don't want to issue a pre-ruling, so I'll wait till it's properly before me, and I can take it from there. It being that it's about 5 minutes, I'm not too concerned about how much time is needed. I also want to be thorough, so I'll wait till it's brought before me and we can address it from there. And turning to Ms. Nestor as it relates to your request.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I recognize that Agent Hall is the case agent and is working with the state in preparing for this, but he is still on the stand, and
Dear Lord, I hope Candace Owens didn't clip that. She's going to be like, Agent Hall is an agent of the state. I knew it. Selective listening, the YouTube edition.
would ask that he be instructed that he can't discuss his testimony, even though he's the case agent. I don't think it's proper for him to discuss his testimony while he's excused for the night.
Mr. Sturgill.
It's not a problem, Judge.
All right, so Agent, from this moment on until we come back in court, you're instructed not to discuss your testimony with anyone, as you are still on the stand for all intents and purposes. And we'll, if the state recalls you this tomorrow morning, then we'll proceed. Okay.
The inside cat in me totally loves this thing, because I would take it to the nth degree. I'd be like, husband, I cannot interact with you at all tonight. Children, I cannot speak to you. I must be in my quiet fortress of solitude. And they'd be like, Mom, you always want to be in your quiet fortress of solitude. And I'd be like, I know, but this time I'm making a pillow fort of solitude.
Okay, on it.
All right, may this witness be excused? For today. All right, thank you, Agent Hall. Anything further from the parties, or do either party need the benefit of the record before we adjourn?
No, Your Honor.
Not from the state, Judge.
All right, noting neither party wishes the benefit of the record. Court is in recess until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
All right, you guys. Well, I am sending you over to Justice Served TV. Hopefully I got that correct, because I think last time I said Justin Served, which is not correct, and I try not to. No, so this is just the preliminary hearing to see if the state has enough evidence to take him to trial. This is in lieu of what would be like a grand jury or an indictment. So typically this is held kind of outside the purview of the public, and in Utah they just have a different procedure. So we're kind of getting to see all of the information that gets, basically they only have to prove probable cause or, so it is a lower threshold. Basically, some of the things that are allowed in a probable or in a preliminary hearing will not be allowed in trial, but the judge or the magistrate can look at it and decide whether the state has put up enough credible evidence to say that there is, enough to take him to trial. Let's see here. I believe that is it. Now, as far as when we will actually hear the court's ruling on this, I believe it is September. There is a lot of information for him to go through, and this judge does appear to be very good at going through and being very meticulous on details. So that will be interesting. Now, I think tomorrow we'll get introduced to lawyer. Oh, sorry, Enema Rumpure. If there's anyone else from our general circle who's on Rumble. Oh, also, if you like arts and crafts, thank you, JKD Buck. I do have a second channel. I will probably be working on that tonight. I do have a new video I need to do a voiceover for. But it's called Mo in the Craft End. I didn't get too creative. I do cross stitch, and I am a novice at not dining rooms. Not that. Don't call me late for dinner. Diamond painting. Definitely very firmly on the side of we're doing this for enjoyment and not perfection, and heavy on the Sailor Moon. But if either of those kind of spark your fancy, please go over there and give those accounts, give that account a sub. I definitely like having that channel. It kind of gives me a chance to unwind and get my mind off some of the hideous things between headlines and trials. Since Baker has thrown the gauntlet, we will be doing a wig off. Yes, we should be getting that on Rumble. Like I said, this is the first week I felt relatively human, so a lot of the things that I was hoping to do the past couple weeks have not gotten done, so I'm hoping tail end of this week and then into next week I will be getting those done. Thank you so much, Blinky. I am really enjoying that, so it's nice, but there is a whole lot to learn, so I am by no means a seasoned craft channel, so thanks for everyone who's given me a sub and given me grace. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I know it's been a while since I've been doing longer streams, and it's nice to get back to it. So, thank you guys for hanging out. And I know there was a lot of Karen Reed to do in the neighborhood, so I will send you over to Justice Served TV so you can get updates about what's going on in Boston. And then I am thinking about, I'm going to be looking at some of the documents in the, oh, for the love of Cheetos, what is the name? The mother who unalived the 3 children. I am wondering if I might do a daily breakdown of that case, but I want to look at some of the documentation in the civil case. I do think that there are some issues there, over medication, underdiagnosis of postpartum issues. But I don't know if I have the emotional bandwidth to do an entire trial. So, breakdowns might be what we do. I might speed run it and then give you guys breakdowns. That way you guys can keep up with what's going on in the trial, or on a weekly basis. You can keep up with what's going on in the trial, but you guys don't have to watch all of it. That's kind of my plan, but I am going to start looking at the documents in that. So I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me. And now Mr. Mo doesn't have to worry about the volume because he's been waiting all day to really, it's not demolition. And I think that's how ladies pull hairs out of their legs. I don't know. Any hoozle. doggone it, we were just raided by squid, and now I'm sending people over. Bye, you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I may stream this evening if there's shenanigans afoot, but I don't know. I am getting back used to the longer streams. I know 3 hours doesn't seem long, but I am trying to be more gentle with my body and not such a stubborn butthole, because it's not just me who worries, you know? Sometimes it's easy to forget that when you're being a stubborn jackass about your health because, you know, it's you. But you also have to remember there's other people that care about you. So I am going to remember that. We'll play it by ear as far as tonight's stream. But thank you guys so much for joining, and I appreciate it. Bye, you guys.